Good evening and welcome to the Masters of None podcast, episode 6.
Episode 6, man. 6 strong. 6 strong.
Consecutive.
Yeah, man.
Consecutive. Not we haven't missed a beat yet. You know, not jinxing us right away.
Oh, consistency, bro.
Consistency is the key. Allegedly, that's what they say. That's what they say.
Whoever they are.
Who are people talking about when they say that?
I think it just refers to
The
general
general
society.
public, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the general public says,
There's a whole bunch of theys. They are assholes a lot of times.
I don't really like them.
Yeah.
I'm not really into them.
Yeah, serious, man.
So, we always start on like this weekend's card. So I guess we could continue the mantra and start on this weekend's card.
I mean,
There's
there's so many fighters I don't know that I'll go to the main event.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, let's go to the main event, and it's kind of crazy. Paul Felder gets called in last minute to fight. Okay, perfect. Our sound is good. If you guys, when you see me like rifling through my phone, it's not because I'm fucking rude. It's because I always want to make sure in the beginning that our audio sounds good. So, Paul Felder, he lost 14 pounds in 2 days to make weight.
Yeah, he did, man. I mean, if anybody can fight on a short notice like that, it's my man, Paul Felder. But it's going to be a tough fight, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, bro.
I feel like when you take a fight on this kind of notice, like the outcome it doesn't really matter.
Not for the guy that took.
Not for the guy who
the
took
fight
took
short
the
notice.
fight on short notice. I'm so pissed. I just realized something. I didn't realize it right now. I realized it when I was upstairs. I've been making coffee all week, and there was like something weird about I froth my milk.
Me too.
All right, good.
Me too, bro.
Anybody who thinks we're weird for this, go fuck yourself. So I froth my milk, and
Froth your milk.
it's just better. Even if you don't froth your milk, warm it up at the very least. You fucking savage.
Yeah.
You know, warm your fucking milk up. His milk has been you see, look at it. It's not like thick. It's not like dense froth. And I run upstairs real quick and I go to make this because I'm not feeling as chipper as I normally am, right?
Yeah.
So I need a little pick me up, a little midday pick me up, right?
All right.
I fucking go put half and half in the machine that froths the milk, and I'm like, why is this fucking half and half have a purple label? This is fat free half.
I was
and
gonna
half.
say it's a little thinner. It's probably fat free, 2% milk.
It's
or some
fucking
shit.
fat free half and
Yeah.
half. Fucking blasphemy. Dog
Yeah.
shit. Doesn't
Like
even
these
taste like-
bubbles are too big. What is this?
It's like thin.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the right viscosity.
That's right. Nah. It's that weird shit. You ever look at skim
Ugh.
milk next to regular milk? She looks like it's yellow.
Yeah.
It looks like cow sweat instead of cow milk.
That's a good one. I was gonna
If
say
a cow were to
semen.
sweat.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
What'd you say?
I said cow sweat. That's a good one. I was gonna say semen. Looks like some athlete semen.
God damn it, I'm on 2 hours of sleep. But it's all good.
Did you experience the YouTube going down this week?
It did not.
It was on.
It went down for
the-
viewers also?
It went down for the viewer. It went down. Like you couldn't watch videos.
Huh.
Yeah, on the 12th, which was Tuesday, I believe.
On the 12th it went down. Why?
Is because it went down. The fucking internet went crazy. It almost felt like you ever have a computer that didn't have Wi-Fi, or you had a laptop and there was no Wi-Fi anywhere, and you open it up and it's like, damn, what the fuck am I gonna do with this thing?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's-
what am I gonna fucking paint? Do
Yeah.
a little paint?
That's it. It essentially becomes like a really fancy typewriter.
Yeah.
So when YouTube went down, like that's kind of how it felt for me.
Yeah.
YouTube went down. It wasn't for long. My kid lost her shit. Like she couldn't have YouTube. YouTube Kids was down. All
Yeah.
YouTube was down, and the internet felt it.
God damn it. Yo, I had no. What time did it happen? Was it daytime, nighttime?
No, it was nighttime.
I was probably at work.
Yeah, it was around It was around like 7-8 o'clock at night. They
Mm.
went down, and I googled it, and then the first thing it brought me to was a tweet from YouTube, like, "Yes, we know you're experiencing issues.
Yeah.
A lot of us are. We're working on it." It came back up in a couple hours, but it was down long enough to make it on the front page of Reddit.
Jesus Christ, man. I mean, that's really all I watch. I don't really watch cable, at all. But damn, man, makes you kind of think. Come on, YouTube, stay the fuck up.
They're
Like,
usually up. I'm not gonna break him.
Well, no, but it makes you think like why we're so dependent on the.
Yeah, right.
On that company for entertainment. Like, I mean, Google, YouTube, same company. Like, what the fuck do you do on the internet without Google and YouTube?
I guess I could have watched Netflix, right? There's just things that like, just like I watch series on Netflix, I watch series on, on YouTube.
I can see Google one day acquiring Netflix. I could see that.
I wonder, like, financially, like, what's it like? Like, how big is Netflix in comparison?
Netflix is big. Do you remember how Netflix?
Huge.
Do you remember how they started?
Yeah. So Netflix first, there was companies like Blockbuster, right? And then Blockbuster was out. Everybody loved Blockbuster. And then Blockbuster was the big brand. There was also like small, like niche video shops. Blockbuster was a big one. Then Redbox came out. And what Redbox was, it was like a vending machine for DVDs. But before the vending machines were out, they used to send them to you in the mail. And it would send you DVDs. And whenever you could use them as long as you want. And when you're done with them, you send them back. And then they send you back DVDs.
That was Netflix.
That was Netflix?
Yeah, that's how Netflix started.
I thought that was Redbox.
No, Redbox came out way after Netflix.
Way before Netflix.
After.
No way.
Bro, Netflix was out when I was like I want to say like high school.
Netflix
like possibly
did start
junior
with
high
the
school.
mailing thing, but didn't Redbox have that too?
Redbox the first I knew of Redbox was the
box.
The vending machine outside 7-Eleven.
So essentially, long story short, Netflix, Redbox, and there was like one other company that I can't think of that was kind of big. Fist fuck.
It's like Gamefly. Something like that.
No, yeah,
Remember?
Gamefly's a real thing. Yeah.
Gamefly
I never used that. I remember all the commercials.
They used to send you video games in the mail.
Yeah, and same thing. You could use them as long as you want. I don't know why I never use it because I used to play. I still play a lot of video games. Shout out to everybody who's playing Call of Duty right now. The new Call of Duty dropped today or yesterday. Yesterday.
It was trending on Twitter. I saw it.
Yeah, Cold War dropped. I haven't even bought it yet.
No,
and I play a lot of Call of Duty.
So I want to wrap up that last subject. So yes, Netflix started as a mail-in.
Yeah,
game and DVD. It's crazy. I'm sure everybody's probably like, yeah, duh.
Everybody
but there's people that like they're so new to.
They think it always existed
to the fucking world.
Yeah, no, it didn't always exist, boys and girls. There was Blockbuster before. I used to go to a place called Hollywood Video.
Yeah, Hollywood Video. I used to go to a place called the first place I ever actually did. This is the place I was talking about. This place called Pine Hollow Video. That's the place where I went to get the old UFCs after I saw, I think, UFC 5. Remember on the hot box that I was telling you? We were talking about the, Jesus Christ, man. Regular video game. And they had saloon doors that took you into where the porn was.
Where the porn was.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
I used to try to drop shit under there.
You used
to have to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
You used to not bring a DVD back and end up paying like 3 times what the DVD was worth in like late fees.
Damn bullshit. The library was on that dumb shit too.
I remember when Blockbuster was like, they knew that they were going down and they were like trying to do whatever. And they would do this thing where you could take 5 movies and then you just swap them back. And they hooked my dad in because my dad was like big in Blockbuster. Like he had the membership card.
You had to have a membership card or else you couldn't rent from them.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
But he could rent like more than one movie. I don't know if there was membership levels.
Maybe.
I don't know.
No, there probably was.
They did do a thing where there was 5 movies, and my dad came.
I think
home
you used to get
day.
discounts on candy and shit too.
Yeah. Oh my god, I would always leave there with candy. That's a fucking break. I'm not gonna talk about that.
So your dad what?
My dad used to. There was this deal when Blockbuster was going downhill. You pick out 5 movies, and then when you're done with those 5 movies, you trade them in. And I remember one night when they first started, my dad came home. He had 5 movies in his hand, which was back then. First of all, it was a lot of movies. It was a lot of money because you had to pay for it. So it was like, what are you doing?
It's like $5 a piece at Blockbuster.
Why do you have 5 movies? This is crazy. Like,
it's $25.
Never had this many movies, and that deal was out. And now, in hindsight, that was probably to save their to a last ditch effort at saving the company.
I guess so. Yeah.
Candy on lines. I mean, it's obvious. It's like a marketing fucking scheme, like fucking shit going on. But it really is brainwash, you know. You drag your kid through this fucking mysterious snake of candy,
and not regular candy.
Nope,
big ass candy. They made it like the movie theater candy in there.
They had, remember that popcorn they used to put on the stove?
Yeah, bro.
And it would pop up. That shit was burning people's houses.
I know.
Popcorn in general is a fire hazard.
Yeah,
in the microwave. And the microwave stops itself and it's sealed. When you put that motherfucker on the stove,
you're
bro,
fucked.
that shit burned the whole.
You better stay
Many-
close.
Many of houses have been burned down
Jesus.
by those. What was that going to transition to? I was talking about Call of Duty.
Yes.
I was talking about Call of
Tell
Duty.
me a little bit
So
about it, because I don't know shit about this new video game that came out.
So it's Call of Duty Cold War. I think it's like Modern Warfare Cold War. It's gonna be another just like regular Call of Duty. It's like a Modern Warfare kind, which means that these like modern guns. It's not like futuristic and it's not like retro either. It's like modern day. I know they got a map in Miami. I know they have a map in like Russia. Bunch of maps everywhere. I guess I'm excited for it. The beta, I played the beta a little bit. Looked good. It's just a matter of like people liking it and transitioning there, and where the masses go, like the people will play, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try it out. I haven't bought it yet. You don't have to like pre-order games anymore because like now you just download them.
That's so crazy, bro.
I didn't pre-order it. You get like things though. You get like skins and whatnot if you pre-order, which I usually do. But with Call of Duty is different because sometimes a Call of Duty will come out, and nobody will fucking like it. And then nobody will be playing it, and everybody will be playing the last one.
But then, because it's all downloadable, can they go in and alter and adjust what people don't like kind of redesign portions of the game,
patch things,
and then re-release it?
They do patch things, but game companies are pretty prideful in the sense that they're not really going to change it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that people don't like they might not be able to change, or they just might not be willing to change because this could be an attribute that's like native to that game, and the game won't be that without it. So I've never seen any like huge major revisions.
So you think they're like arrogant about it when they program it? When they're programming it, they're all like fucking arrogant about it. They're like, stupid idiots.
Also, you can't listen to the gaming community. You're talking about the community of trolls, you know? It's really hard to take some of these guys serious. I don't know.
Speaking of trolls.
Go ahead.
Bro, did I tell you that Instagram threatened to shut my account down?
Mm-hmm. You didn't tell me, but I did hear it on your story.
What the fuck? So I wrote something. Somebody wrote something. I didn't write anything crazy. I'm not going to get into what I wrote.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote something, a view of theirs.
Yeah.
And this was an important person, apparently, which, I guess. So they wrote something. I disagreed with what they said. So I said I disagreed, but I also said a fact about what they stated. It was a fact. Based on the history of the concept they were discussing, what I said was a fact. And Instagram sends me a notification saying that if I post this, my account may be deleted.
Do you think that our society, I'm talking about everybody, is capable of understanding and taking in information rationally and being responsible for themselves? And this goes not just to your comment, but even to the new New York 10 o'clock shutdown where restaurants can't be open after 10. So, and I'm playing devil's advocate. Because I know the angle already because I've watched the video, right? So this isn't my opinion. This is just the contra, right? So I ask you this. Do you think that sometimes decisions are made in the best interest of the public because not everybody is rational? So an example would be the fact that we wear masks in the street, right? If sick people would stay home, we wouldn't have to wear masks, right? If people who were symptomatic understood that they were symptomatic and they chose to stay home, which is the appropriate thing to do, which is what an intelligent person to do, somebody who's educated and somebody who just, is like rational. They like, listen, I feel a little fucked up. I'm not going out. I don't want to get anybody sick. But the reason why we are wearing masks is because those people are far and few between. And although like you and I may be some of those people, I feel like, not that I feel like, but I think like the other side looks at things like we can't take the risk for the people who are idiots. Xbox 3, the new Xbox just came out, and Xbox had to tell people that like, people like blowing vape smoke into their Xboxes to make it look like the Xboxes were like lighting on fire. And Xbox put out a tweet like, we don't even understand like why we have to say this, but please don't blow smoke into your Xbox. People are so dumb. Yeah. And like, I feel like these huge companies are like protecting us from ourselves. But like the intelligent people like yourself look at it and they're like, I don't want to be censored. I don't want to be like quieted. Like I deserve to be able to say what I want. But like at the same time, do you, and this is a question, it's a long-winded question.
No, but I get what you're saying. You're circling back to your point. You're saying,
do you think that certain things need to be kept off the internet or kept off certain places? Because people are so fucking dumb. They're just they had to tell people not to drink bleach when the coronavirus started. They had to publicly tell people, hey, please do not drink bleach.
Yes.
Like, this is the society that we're dealing with. This is what we're talking about. And it's like shameful. It doesn't even make any sense. It's like, fuck. You got
So my take on this is, if you think that you should drink bleach, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, drink some bleach.
Yeah, drink some bleach. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should drink some bleach. You should drink all the bleach you want. Yeah. Guy just took a shot of that espresso. You're about to be bouncing off the wall, son.
Hey, yo, because it's so gross with that fucking fat-free half and half. It's an interesting thought at the very least, right?
So you still got a little.
Oh, I got a little bit of froth.
Yeah,
I got some thin froth
got
on my nose.
Yeah.
My schnoz.
Yeah.
I do that on purpose. It's called the Belgian dip.
Shut your fucking mouth. It's called the Belgian dip.
It's called the Belgian dip.
So my take on that is, I do believe that okay, because I did work through part of this shit. You know, I had to work through this thing because my job required me to work. So I know this thing is real.
Yeah.
I know it's very real.
Yes.
I just think that people that are at risk, people that are susceptible, people, you know, stuff like that, they should possibly quarantine themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And people that aren't at risk and don't feel that they are a kind of person with a lot of comorbidities, things like that, that would make you more susceptible to a bad turn with this, according to the data that's been available so far. I mean, you got to have the freedom to do what you want.
You definitely, I think it's fucked up to tell people that they can't do certain things, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes when you don't talk, I'm not a fucking communist. This is just,
I get it.
These are just, it's more like a question, right? Because it's my opinion that we should be able to do whatever we want, right? But when I see that, we could do whatever we want. I go out. And now I go out and somebody who's also able to do whatever they want brings it, who comes out and let's just say they're sick and they get me sick. Or not only that, we're allowed to post whatever we want and people start posting, real things that aren't true. People start posting a rhetoric that is negative for society, right? And they begin to develop a fan base, and then people begin to believe it. And that's how weird things happen.
You mean like when ISIS was starting to get kind of popular on Twitter?
So, things like
a
that.
Concept like that that can invade society. I get it.
So I'm not saying that there needs to be some form of like vetting or like
or censorship.
What's the word? Censorship. I don't think this should be a censorship. But what I will say is that I understand some of it because as like a society, a general society, some of us are just incapable of understanding even sarcasm, let alone being able to develop our own opinions on certain things and to make rational decisions. People dude, I don't even want to get into religion, but religion is still huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Scientology,
no, you're right.
Religion, like, Catholicism, any of the denominations, like people are giving 30% of their checks to these places because they believe in certain things. And there's nothing wrong with it. I get it.
True.
Believe what you want to believe. That's my opinion. We should be able to do whatever we want. We should be able to believe what we want to believe. But sometimes I sit back and I say, all right, I get why you're doing some of this shit. But and unfortunately, a lot of it aligns with like, you can make it easily align with like, weird.
You could find an angle.
You could find an angle to align it with communism. I didn't want to say that, but you could find an angle to align it with anything, socialism, communism, and you could align it with any of these, like, negative, and they're negative from our perspective, but maybe positive from the communist perspective. The guys who are sitting on top at the very least, not the guys who have to share a bag of rice with their entire family.
So my take again is, when it comes to, all right, general things, generally speaking, we're not talking about anything specific. We're not talking about quarantining. We're not talking about social media, where, just generally, like, blanket term. You have to be able to say what you want and do what you want, even in crazy situations like that, like, you know, things like social media, things like saying what you want to say, because once you start to give some of that up, history has taught us that there's no going back.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because there's no going back. You understand this now, that now that they've been able to mandate us to wear masks, they've been able to mandate us to not say certain things on social media. I mean, there have been proven cases where apologies have been put out by major tech companies for suppressing information that was factual. I mean, broad spectrum suppressing information. Like,
but this isn't anything new. The government's been suppressing information for years. They literally take people's careers and they wipe them off the face of the earth, because, you know, when you look at aliens and these spaceships that they found, and now they're saying 30 years later that they really did find them, and the dude who said it 30 years ago and they said he was crazy, well, guess what? He's not really crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you look at all these weird Alex Jones theories that he's been shouting out for 25 years, and, you know, here we are,
right
2020. He's been right a couple times.
Yeah.
Was he wrong a couple times? Yeah, he was wrong a couple times. I don't think he hit the head on the Sandy Hook thing, but I think on like there's other things that he said that might have been correct. You can't be right 100% of the time, but when you look at things like that, it's like we've been getting censored for years.
Yeah.
Now what's happening is that we're being censored on this real. We're censoring the wrong generation. We're censoring like Generation X, millennials. Like, we're censoring these people who have been or more likely to rebel, as opposed to a generation before us who might have been more complacent.
but they're not really, but they're not just censoring them. Like, those stupid kids are censoring themselves. They're so fucking dumb.
But they're censoring themselves on their private platforms. They're not saying, it's not law. It's not law that you can't say this or say that. It's their house, and they're saying, all right, well, if you want to play in my house, you can't.
You're talking about Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
Sure. But the scale at which they operate, there needs to be some.
It's enormous.
But it's not just enormous. They control the flow of information.
Yes.
They control the entire
because
flow of
we
information.
allow them to, not because they're holding it hostage.
No, they're not holding it hostage, but what other choices are there?
Well, it's because we choose to use them.
But what other choices are there to go and get information as easily as you get it from these
The
companies?
choices is to
They're
choose
woven
not
into
to,
the fabric of every bit. What are you going to go get an encyclopedia?
No, just like you could choose not to eat at a restaurant because you don't believe in their policies, you could choose to use an alternative website, and it may not be as big, but it's up to the public to band together and say, we're not going to use your fucking platform.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to this other platform. We're going to go to that other platform when they don't socialize, when they don't censorize any of the information. And it's like a no holds barred. It's up to the people to be strong enough to say, all right, we're not going to use it. Because the same people who are saying that, this person censoring this person, they're still using the shit.
That's true, but the timing at which they did this,
Yeah,
they intentionally did this to sway the
100%.
election.
This
So
election's
listen,
so dirty.
so you don't think that is really detrimental to the fabric of the country, of like the nation?
No, I agree with that statement, right? But I don't feel any more concerned because the media has been doing that forever.
Never to this level.
Only, you know why? Because now we have the news, and we have social media, which is so strong, and it's getting so much stronger. But if you look at the elections, let's not say the prior elections, but the elections before that, right? Because, you know, the internet just getting bigger, Twitter's just getting bigger. Let's just talk about Barack's election,
Okay.
or even the election before that when Diddy was shouting "Vote or Die." You know, when Bush was getting elected.
Oh yeah.
Social media wasn't as big as it is now. What's happening now is that social media is such a big player. They've become just like Fox or MSNBC or any of these other companies that are pushing out information, and they're pushing out their agenda. But that has been happening for years. What's happening now is it's happening on our territory. It's happening on our turf. These, like, you know, if it happened on MySpace when Bush was getting elected, we'd feel the same way. But it didn't happen on MySpace. It's the same. I think it's equivalent to MySpace would have having an agenda to the way Facebook has an agenda, or the way Twitter has an agenda, or the way YouTube has an agenda. If they have an agenda, I think it's the same thing. The only difference now is that they're another player. They're sitting alongside Fox. They're sitting alongside all these other media or news companies that are pushing an agenda. And you know, in my opinion, we as the people, we give them that power. This what are they giving us? They give us nothing. They give us this free platform that we get to use, and it's not free because they're mining our information. So we have the power to say, I don't want to use that fucking platform. I'm going to use it. Personally, I don't use them, and I don't use them for that reason. But we as a people can say, I don't want to watch Fox, or I don't want to use Twitter. I don't want to use Reddit, YouTube, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to get my information this way or that way. But we want to be lazy at the same time and go to where it's at.
But it's also Google involved in that.
Google's involved in it too, but I don't.
Google's involved in it. You search something on Google, they bury results on certain shit. They hide it, they bury it, they mask it, and it's factual.
Yeah, but I think that the Google algorithm is just showing you who you are or what you search for, and people don't like it. And I think that do they bury stuff? Possibly. I'm sure there's articles.
No,
out there
it's
where
factual.
where they're burying stuff.
Yeah, there's studies and stuff where they search certain content and it will populate a whole bunch of stuff identical to what they write versus other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there are. I can't think of it right now. And I wish I know it, but there's another search engine.
Yeah, I use DuckDuckGo.
That's what it is right there. DuckDuckGo.
That's what I use.
It's fucking shit. It's not that good.
Yeah, it's not that good, but this is what I'm saying.
But it gives you
an option.
It gives you an option. We have options. We need to just not use Google. If 2 million people tomorrow decide to stop using Google, things will change. Google can't. These companies could not survive without us.
No, that's true. I actually found a free speech platform online that I think is called Parler. That I think I want a free social media site. Like you can say whatever you want on there.
You should be able to say whatever you want to say. But at the same time, boy, would I hate it if another fucking cult came to rising because somebody in a Facebook group had a really good banter and he was able to trick people into joining him and thinking that the Sumerians were coming out of the ground or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And that's what happens. Like,
I mean, it's happening with Flat Earth and
look at all these things that you see and you're just how are we fucking, these are the guys
but those stupid people, you have the right to believe whatever you want.
Yeah, 100%.
You have the right to say or believe whatever you want. If you want to believe the earth is flat and you want to be a fucking idiot, then that's what America's about.
Yes.
You could be a fucking idiot. You can go stand on the corner and say that Jesus is your grandpa and you are actually the person who Christmas was named after because your middle name is Christmas.
But what happens when you start yelling it in people's faces? Is that
not
okay?
Yelling it in people's faces?
I'm asking you because that's the alternative. That's what ends up happening, right? You should be able to say what you want to say, right?
Sure.
But now we're saying that what these people are saying are affecting others. Or the message is being put out is affecting others, right? So that's and I'm like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. This isn't necessarily my
sure.
But like if you were to say you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. And then what happens is that people are like, yeah, you know what? I can say whatever I want. And they start saying whatever they want and they start yelling at people like, this is my opinion, this is my opinion, this is my opinion.
This is America, bro.
Pushing it onto people.
It's a constitution. You can say what you want. It's in a goddamn constitution.
You can say what you want.
It's a constitution. That's what it is. If you don't like people saying what they want, then don't live in America. Like that's what America is based on. It's say what you want and freedom to do whatever you want as long as you don't harm anybody.
What is it? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
That's what it is. Like it's given that in certain places you go to, let's say a restaurant, your rights change when you enter that private building. You're inside their building. It's owned by somebody. You can't come in here and start cursing people out. I'm going to make you leave my property. That's the way that works. So now when we apply that mentality to a large company like Google, like YouTube, like social media, that makes sense. It's a privately owned company. They can, set the rules to whatever they want. If you don't want to abide by it, fine. Because I used to absolutely agree with that, which I partially agree with it now. It's just a very gray area. But I think that, when you have politicians and stuff like that, getting involved in this aspect of social media, and now at this point, there's no turning back. You know what I mean? Because they've already started to discuss legislation and shit like that. It is clearly skewed in one direction, which that's, I think, where the line was crossed. Let everything out or let nothing out. You can't let this half in and this half not. Yeah. And I don't give a fuck who's saying what. But if you're paying attention, you're seeing that there's one side of the coin that's being pushed by 95% of the companies, both media, social media, everybody. There's clearly a large partnership with the flow of information that is in one direction. Now, what do we do with that? You know, a lot of times that happens to be, a lot of people consider it to be the nicer direction or something like that. But the problem is when you start to limit it and you start to limit which side gets to speak, where does that end?
Yeah.
You know, even if it was the other way, even if they had it and they just let like the other side of the coin say and do whatever they want without the other side, that's still wrong. Like,
You have to find a middle ground.
even if I disagree with somebody, 100%, I will still fight for their right to say that.
Do you disagree with the fact that New York's shutting down at 10 o'clock? And
Absolutely.
Just for clarification, New York's shutting down bars and restaurants at 10 o'clock,
Yes.
right? So from my perspective, it's I don't really give a fuck that they're shutting down restaurants at 10 o'clock because they're not shutting down like, and they're still open for delivery. They're shutting down and we're approaching flu season, right?
Mhm.
Do you think
We're in flu season.
CDC's announced we're in flu season now?
Well, I kind of, in my mind, get into flu season a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
flu
think
season
so.
doesn't start until the CDC says it fucking
That's true.
starts. So there's been an uptick in corona, right? My question that it's the same question I had originally, like, do we allow like the man to save people from themselves? They don't have to save me, because you know what? I'm not going out anyways, because I understand the severity of this. I don't think you go out anyways either.
No.
No, right? But we should be able to go out. I agree with that, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that sometimes, and this is just that some of this stuff is like them saving people from themselves?
It's not up to them to save us.
No, I know. I understand that. But do you think that that's what's happening sometimes?
Sometimes,
Is it
yeah.
an attempt to save the public from themselves because they just don't understand it? You look at like states like Florida, and they're having like full-fledged fucking fiestas.
Yeah.
And then you look up here in New York, and we're not even allowed to eat after 10. Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't.
And you look at our numbers, and you look at the numbers of the United States in comparison to, why is that? Why are we enforcing more rules and we're getting more numbers? And you look at places like Australia or Eastern Europe, and their cases are, they barely have any cases.
Makes you think. This is what I'm saying. Like, you have to think in your head, like, what's going on here? Like, what is going on here? I understand, this because people were very sick when this thing was really peaking and shit.
There's
People
no
were really
doubt
sick.
that
It's not a doubt.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
so
no
we're not
doubt.
discussing whether or not this thing is real, because I'll
It's
tell
real.
you, anybody watching this, look at me, you can trust me. That shit is real.
100%.
100% real.
But it's just is it because we're testing more? Is it like those things where more crimes are committed in Black and Latino communities, but there's more cops there, so it makes them more able to
you mean
find
like more
crime.
arrests? Yeah.
So like more arrests are made over there. So is it like one of those things? Is because, well, we're testing more, so obviously we're going to have higher numbers. I really, really would be interested in finding out what the reality is, not what the left or the right's opinion is on why it is this way. I would love to know the reality of it. And the sad thing is that there is no channel or no place where I can go and find raw information.
Unbiased info.
Exactly. No, it doesn't exist.
That used to be the media's job. That was their sole
Yeah.
job, was to be
Not
ethical
anymore.
and report the truth.
Not anymore.
That's what their job was.
Now they fight against each other because they're
For
aligned,
ratings and ad money.
because they're aligned with this
One side or the other
Exactly.
of political parties.
Yeah.
So this is how we circle back to what we were saying about social media, because now tech is involved in that split.
Yes,
Because
because tech used to be this place where it was safe.
Yeah, tech used to be a place that's like the internet. It's the Wild West. You can still say what you want, do what you want. You can still do that on the internet. You know what I mean? And now we're losing that.
Yeah.
We're really losing that,
We are losing
which
it.
is scary.
But no, I think that there is some censorship happening, right?
But
I think it probably
bro,
goes
they censored the fucking United States press secretary.
Yeah, we talked about
They
that last
shut
week.
down her Twitter. They censor the president of the United States. He's a fucking moron.
He says,
Don't get me
stupid
wrong.
shit.
He
That
says
fact
stupid
checking
shit.
thing. Remember that now Twitter released that fact checking thing was it a year
Yeah,
ago now
yeah,
at
yeah.
this point? That's another thing. Like
They're getting sued.
that's a form of censorship.
That is censorship because who are these fact checkers? They're private companies that are paid by the people that are saying they're checking our facts.
I'm not
They're
mad
paying
about they're
them.
checking the fact, but if I want to say that crocodiles are birds, I should be able to say that. But the problem is that so many people fucking believe that crocodiles are birds that
Who
you just go on and
cares?
do. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get
It's not up
that
to
side of it.
us to tell them what's real. They need to figure that out. It's up to their families, up to their parents. It's up to them, their life experience. Like, we can't force reality on people.
Fuck, man. Isn't that how we got the last president we had? Because people were just allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, and then they just convince them that it's going to be a fucking frat party for the next 4 years.
Well, and now people have decided to change it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So go ahead and go change
so we're
it.
getting smarter.
But are we getting smarter? Because a
don't know.
lot of that had to do with a lot of information being suppressed.
Yeah.
Factual information being suppressed. So, was there all this kind of fraud and shit? Not enough to skew anything. That man's going to be the president. He's going to be the president.
And it's hard to say that I believe
There's
any of
fraud,
these people.
but there's always fraud. Every
There's always-
election
there's
is
always
fraud.
gonna be, listen,
This is nothing new.
if it'd be crazy to say that there's not like 1% fraud. If there's not somebody voting for with their dead uncle's name or something
It's
like that.
impossible.
Is it enough to change the results of the election?
No.
No. There's like professionals who are hired by government agencies and pushed through whatever media organization. So none of that shit might be real either.
It's
But
all
they're-
dirty.
They're saying, fuck, I can't even say this because it might not even be real, but they're saying, they're like, there's absolutely no chance that there could be any kind of fraud. Who knows what's real? Who knows what's wrong? What's not right? The best thing to do is go get the information yourself, maybe watch everything and then come to your own conclusion. But it is a really interesting theory when we live in a society where we constantly have to warn each other about dumb shit like wearing seatbelts, right? That shit's a law. Like you have to wear it. You have to wear a seatbelt because it saves your fucking life.
I think they made it a thing so that they could make revenue and generate revenue by giving
That's
you tickets.
definitely one way of looking at it, but that's one way of looking.
If you don't want to wear a seatbelt,
no, but
it's your right to fly through the windshield.
no, but the thing is
It's
like
America.
this. Yes, there is. Did they do it to? And this is just me again playing devil's advocate because that is a very good point. But at the same time, if I think about it from another perspective, I can say, well, there needs to be a punishment, right? So that you can incentivize people to wear their seatbelts. Because if there was no punishment for this offense, then why not wear a seatbelt? If I just told you wear a seatbelt because it'll save your life, people were. It's the same reason why we can't fucking. Oh no, you can't. Drink
It's not up to anybody to save me. That's my whole point.
But that's the society we live in, though.
But no, not in America.
It is.
It's not up to anybody to save me,
It is.
son.
It's the same reason why they fucking. It's not the same reason why they put airbags in a car. I was just gonna say that, but it's not the same
No,
reason.
airbags are a different story. Airbags are a different story because
But it's not an option to not buy it.
yeah, that's because it's like it's just part of a vehicle.
But if I
now.
want
it's
to,
part of the
if I
sales
want to save the
specs.
money, I should be able to. No, I should be able to option out, but you can't. It's
Yeah, I
illegal.
guess. Yeah,
Same
you're-
thing with the glass,
you're
right?
right.
You need to have this kind of glass. Your car needs to be this kind of release this minimum maximum of emissions,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. We're consistently putting things out to save
A lot of that's
us
environmental.
from ourselves. The emissions is, but there's a lot of safety features in
Yeah.
cars that you don't need to make cars function, but they're required by the law.
That's true because
because-
people are like dying from before
'cause
that.
we're
They were like, "Yeah, we got
fucking
to figure
dumb.
something out.
'Cause
I guess we got to figure out how to stop these things."
Because the majority of people
it wasn't
are
a big deal when there
fucking
was
dumb.
2 in the whole town. They never collided. Now
Yeah.
we got about 50. They're fucking hitting each other everywhere. We got to figure out how to stop these things.
It's crazy, man. You know what's fucking crazy too? That people die from like pancreatitis and things like that, right? And
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
There's like sicknesses that people get, and they're just at home suffering, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna be better tomorrow."
Yeah.
And then they just
Now
fucking-
imagine there was a law that says you have to go to the hospital.
when you're sick,
Imagine
you
that.
have to go. To
You
the
have to
hospital.
go. They come in and you're like, "Oh, my stomach," and they kick the door in and they're like, "You're going to jail." And you're like, "What?" And they're like, "You didn't go to the hospital."
It's like, listen, Justin, we were listening to your conversations on the phone, and we know that you had a tummy ache 3 days ago.
Yeah.
You haven't reported it.
How many times did you shit today? Hands behind your back, sir. You're shitting right now. Look at you. You
Show
should
me
have
your
been.
stool. Show me your stool. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's you can look at it from every
so
angle.
that's the line. That's my concern. It's not because there are a lot of things that are super positive that they force on us. Like that law in New York State. Yes, in New York State, there had to be a law that you can't park on the train tracks.
So fucking crazy.
This is
right?
a fucking law. So is that absurd? Absolutely, that's absurd that there had to be a law. So that's a good thing
Yeah.
because, you know, now the cops can force you off the tracks if you're parked on the tracks.
Yeah.
So fine. But when you make laws, there's no coming back from that law, really. That's a precedent now.
But is it legislation that's being signed that's saying that some things cannot, or that our freedoms are being taken away? Because this is an interesting thing that I've been listening to and reading in the media, or mostly on Reddit, that it's not legislation that's being passed down in the sense that there's not new laws that are saying you can't do this or
True.
you can't do that. These are guidelines that are being placed down. So are you going to go to, you're not going to go to jail. These are guidelines these are city guidelines that are being put down. And you know what, dude, there's weird legislation from back in the day. You look at like in Connecticut, you can't hang your laundry on like a Wednesday evening because it used to be like a sign during war times that like when you're hanging your laundry in a certain direction, that meant that, that meant X, Y, and Z. So there's weird legislation down. The truth
And how ridiculous is that? Ridiculous.
it is ridiculous.
But back to my point, there's no going back.
There's no going back. Yeah, that does.
So that stupid
yeah.
fucking law
I
is
tried to
still
even
on the
this out for a
books.
second, but that just kind of gave
Shit's still on the
Yeah,
books.
and it's not that I disagree with you at all. I just think that there's
An inch lost is an inch lost forever.
yeah.
That's my point. Once you stop letting me say fuck, then next I can't say shit. Then I
You
can't
can't
call
say-
you an asshole. Then you can't say maybe anymore. You can't say happy anymore. You can't say surprise anymore. You see what I'm saying? This is where it starts. First it starts, that's a bad word. It hurts people's feelings. You can't say it. Yeah, that's good. We don't like that word anymore. Then before you know it, it starts to evolve. And now where do we draw the line? They just take more. Take more, a little
Yeah,
here, a little there. You turn around and fucking freedom's gone.
That's a real fucking deep way of, not deep, extreme way of looking at it. And it definitely gets the point across 100%. It's illegal to get abortions in certain states.
Yeah.
That's something crazy too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
if you
illegal,
think
but it's also
We
crazy
just
in
lost
New York.
Everybody who is fucking anti-abortion. Anybody who's
No,
anti-
but yeah, it's illegal to get them some places, but then you got New York's kind of crazy. New York, you could get
You
third trimester abortions.
damn, that's like full term, right?
Damn near full term, son. So,
Whoa. Where do you stand, my friend?
so
Are we letting people do what they want? Or are we not doing three? Are you pro-abortion?
see, but this is a gray area because now you're involving. We're definitely not going down this rabbit hole for sure. But yeah, we're stopping right here.
Stop at abortions.
We're stopping right
We're
here.
cutting at abortion.
There's the line.
Yeah, okay.
You can't say abortion. I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. Xbox, the new Xbox came out, and the PlayStation.
Yes. Now, a message from our sponsors. Coffee. Back to you.
I did write down the PlayStation and the Xbox because I want to talk about the bots that buy things. Have you ever wanted to buy something and you go to get it on release date and it just sells out in a minute?
I experienced it with concert tickets.
And they're only being bought by bots that go and resell it. Or you see somebody on Instagram flexing with It's Biscuit just posted this morning like 16 Xboxes and 16 PlayStations in his car. And
Who posted that?
It's Biscuit.
Oh, my man is Biscuit, Long Island.
Yeah.
Long Island.
He shout out to His Biscuit, but and nothing against him. Do your thing, man. But he posted a bunch of pictures of a bunch of Xboxes and a bunch of PlayStations that are sold out everywhere, and people don't have them. How do you feel about the bots that buy things and then these resellers? And this loops directly into
Do what you want.
price gouging on events. But
Yes.
go ahead, and you get into the first question.
No,
we're not talking about do what you want anymore.
Okay, no more do what you want. We're talking about my take on bots and what we're talking about. Is it fair?
Is it fair for that people are designing all right, for the people who don't know, there's bots that will buy items for you. You can buy them online. Google fucking sneaker bots, Google ticket bots. You could Google Sony bots, and you can You can buy a bot who will essentially, when the item drops, it puts it in your cart and purchases it for you instantly. And people do this and they buy 15 Xboxes or they buy 15 PlayStations or they buy all the concert tickets or they buy the sneakers or whatever limited edition item is being sold. And they buy it most of the time to resell it. In my opinion, it takes away from the real hardcore fans who want this and who want to pay MSRP, who want to pay market value for their item.
Yeah.
And they can't because people are just buying them to resell them. I experienced this last month. NVIDIA came out with a new video card, the 3000 series, 3060, 3070, 3070, 3080, 3090, right? They dropped. I haven't been able to get one. I've been trying to get one every day since, right? We're talking about a $700 video card that is now being sold for $1,400 on eBay. And if I needed one right now, I'd be forced to pay double for it. And they're being bought up by bots, by people who don't want them for themselves, right? Same thing's happening with the PlayStation.
Not I know what so happens bad with Jordans and shit.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. It's not so bad with the PlayStations right now, you know, because they made a lot and people will get them. They're gonna have to wait a couple days, but it's not the end of the world. But my question for you is, you know, have you ever been struck by the bots or by you know, people just buying things for the sole purpose of reselling them?
Yeah, it's happened to me with concert tickets. I mean, it happened to you and me with the
UFC
Conor McGregor Nate Diaz fight that happened at the Garden.
That ESPN,
or was it Conor and Eddie Alvarez? It was Conor McGregor fought somebody.
It was Conor McGregor fighting somebody, and the ESPN just posted it today. The gate was like $16 million.
It was Eddie Alvarez
like that, and
at the Garden. So we wanted to go. It was the first event since it's been made legal in New York State. So we wanted to go and watch the fight. We got priced out of the event.
And you know who does get to go to the event? I was talking to my tattoo artist about this yesterday. You know who does get to go to the event? The people who don't really give a fuck about MMA or mixed martial arts or UFC or any combat sports, but they are just heard that their bro is going to a fight in a city they could afford to go, and they do go, and they bring the prices through the fucking roof, and they price out the real fans.
True. So I do think that's because these are kind of two separate things. Now I was getting off track a little bit. So I do think it's unfair, and I think that there should be some kind of technology or some kind of limit put in place because this is, you know, now this is a company that they should make it fair. At the same time, this is open capitalism, and they want to make as much money as they can, and the people buying it, they want to make as much money as they can.
Yeah, that's capitalism at its finest, right? People buying and reselling.
Yeah, so it does make it unfair. So I guess this is an ethical question more than anything. This isn't
it is. And the companies do try because it's not in their best interest for people to buy them and resell them.
Yeah, it's not because they're just
companies do try, but they're being beat out by the bots. I'll talk about the UFC thing now and the fact that, you know, we got priced out, and I think the same thing is happening now in like the tattoo industry, right? So yesterday I drove down to PA to get tattooed. Dude named Ben. Coolest fucking dude.
Tattoo's fire, by the way.
Yeah, I'm all wrapped up so I can't show it, but cool fucking guy, you know, sick artist. And one of the things we were talking about is like the price gouging and how crazy it is that people charge $3,600 a day, $2,000 a day to get tattooed, and it does the same thing. It pulls away these grassroots people, right? And it brings in these people who may not necessarily be into it, or
they don't respect the tattoo culture, and they're just showing up as like fanboys.
Exactly.
To fill up the seats of the best artists.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. To get work done that artist probably doesn't even want to do, but this guy's paying $3,600 for the day. So they're just going to produce like, you know, something that he wants.
Like how I waited a year and a half for this.
Exactly.
This Native American lady head.
Yeah, exactly.
I waited a year and a half for this.
People wait fucking I wait. The tattoo I just got, I booked it August, maybe? Midsummer, July.
Okay.
Something like that. I just got it in November. I've waited longer than that.
Yeah.
I never done a year and a half. I believe I did close to a year.
I think it was less than a year and a half. I think every time I say it, the time extends more.
It gets longer and
It gets longer and longer. By the like next time I tell this story, it's like, man, 3 years.
I waited 3 years and I walked.
She looked like a
uphill.
different person when I saw her.
It was a different. She was a man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, so I think it was like a year and like a couple months.
It's
Not a year and a half.
It must be just when things get struck in by like fame.
It's
When things,
popularity.
I said that word a lot today. Strucken.
you know what-
strike.
It's popularity and you know, to a point, I'll play devil's advocate like you
Yeah.
did last time. If the guy's that good and people are willing to pay that much for it, shouldn't he deserve to get paid the money?
Yeah, 100%. You should deserve to get the money, right? But
He or she, because
because there's
one of the best tattooers that touch my skin is a female.
They're definitely. I'm indifferent when it comes to male or female. I just like people's artwork. If your artwork is sick, your artwork is sick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. At the same time, like, not everybody could afford that, and sometimes the people who really respect the culture or are about the culture or full of tattoos, and they're just like, oh man, I would love this piece from this person. They'll never be able to get it because they can never afford it. Because and you know who does get it? These rich guys that don't really care about the work. It doesn't mean as much to them. And some tattoo collectors who save up the money to get it, and you know they do their thing. It's an interesting conversation. What are you gonna say? Go ahead.
Do I deserve a Picasso? Because, you know, should they bring the price down?
Not the same.
No.
No.
Should I get, or let's say a contemporary painter, some kind of artist, some kind of sculptor?
No. The answer is no. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Any answer is no. Yeah. You
So-
don't deserve it because you're into art. But at the same time, you can say, fuck, it's not fair that I can't have this.
Absolutely. I can say that. And why?
Yes, because we have that right. It's
Because
a
this
freedom.
is America,
baby.
you know what I'm saying?
You can say whatever you want.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Had to bring it back.
It's true. It is true. Lucky for me, the conversation I had, he felt, and I didn't say that I think that, you know, you should be, I say that it's your artwork. You charge, even at the end of the night when we're talking about our price, I'm not going to discuss prices, but I'll talk about pricing with you, but I'm not
Yeah,
gonna,
sure.
I'm not going to publish
Sure,
it.
sure.
At the end of the night when we were talking about prices, I was like, listen, you know, the price on your work is the price on your work. You just tell me what it is, and you know, I gotta pay it. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
I go to get tattooed, you know, and I always want a ballpark anyways, but I go
Sure.
there understanding that I'm gonna spend some money.
Yeah, you're going to spend some money.
And
That's a fact.
yeah, you're gonna spend some, and anybody who goes somewhere and they just go to their local shop or they go to their man's house or you get
Talk about it.
what you fucking pay for. It's
Talk about
and
it.
it should be sinful that people are even allowed to do tattoos on other people that aren't the ones that just are a little shaky isn't that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
the ones where they're fucking mutilating people,
Yeah. There's some shit that is absolutely crazy. And that's why there's regulation. You know,
it's-
but see, I think when it goes to getting a tattoo, don't go to the cheap guy. That's not something you don't want to compromise on tattoos. That's words to live by.
I see so many people who ask me about my tattoos and they tell me, yeah, I'm thinking of going to this guy in a shop that's like local to me, right? It's a shop over here. I know it. It's
Which is fine no matter where your tattoo spot is located.
doesn't
Just-
matter where it is.
Just
Yeah.
do your research on the
just
artist.
Do your research. I don't go by the shop. I go by the fucking. I
You go by the artist. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, who are you getting tattooed by there? And they're like, oh no, well they do walk-ins like Monday through Friday. It's like the best. You could just go there anytime you want to get a tattoo. You could just go there.
Yeah.
And I said to this person, I was like, do yourself a favor, don't ever walk in and get a tattoo.
Yeah.
I said, find out what you want to get. Go online and look up who's good at that, and then find out where they are or
Yeah.
when they're going to be in your town or how to get to them or who is good that's near you.
Exactly.
You don't have to go to Bang Bang Studio and get a tattoo from one of those guys.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that. There's
No.
plenty of local artists that are good. But thing is that my wife is good at making rice. An example, not necessarily true, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that you could come into my house and say, oh, I want, potatoes a la grant or some shit like that. That's not the way it works. Like she's
Yeah.
good at making rice. Some people are good at American traditional. Some people are good at neo, Japanese, realism, fucking new school.
Exactly.
Not everybody's good at everything. So you got to find out what you want and go to that person who at least does that style, let alone they're
Exactly.
good at the style. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not everybody needs to get a fucking $3,600 piece from Jose Lopez or whatever.
It's like a haircut. If you walk in a barbershop and the guy's like this, yo, I got you. Come sit over here, bro. Yo, come sit over here. Start dusting the chair off and shit. Don't go to that guy.
Don't get a haircut.
Same thing with even more so. I know people that wouldn't go to a barber like that, but they'll walk in and get a tattoo from the guy that's mopping the floor. I'm like, guys, come on, bro. Like, the guy is clearly not busy. Everybody else is tattooing and he has time to like clean up and straighten up. That guy's not the guy.
I don't know, man.
You want to wait a little while. You don't have to wait 2 years. You want to wait a little while. If the guy can take you immediately right now, unless you just get lucky and you know the tattooer and he loves your design.
If you get a cancellation,
yes.
Those are I'm on a waiting list right now. I'm waiting for a fucking cancellation call.
Yeah.
I'm on a waiting list right now, and I'll be right back to fucking Pennsylvania.
Fucking
He
right.
just happens to be in Pennsylvania. The other guy I want to get tattooed is in Pennsylvania too. But it's just yeah, man. Go to people who you respect their artwork and understand that it is art. You can't go to these places and expect them to put fucking, you know, an elephant trunk on a fucking chimpanzee and, you know, make him like running, make him do backflips.
Yeah.
You know,
Make him like a flip book. Like when you flex your arm, he does a triple axel on ice skates. That's bullshit.
These guys do
All
that
right?
shit every day. They know what they're doing. If they tell you something's not going to look good, it's not going to look good.
My artist actually changed the placement on one of my tattoos.
Because he knew
I wanted it in a different spot.
Yeah.
And he said a better spot is this spot.
You
like
gotta respect them.
It was this record player here. I was going to get it on my forearm and he was like, I'm going to have to make it like significantly smaller. He's like, it's, you know, he's like, over time, it's not going to age well. You know what I mean? And you have to go in there. You go into these people. And the reason you're paying this money is because
you respect their life. You're like their artwork.
Yeah. If you want to tell them how to do it, where to do it, what to do, motherfucker, tattoo yourself.
That's your artwork. That's not their artwork.
That's not their artwork. Let them do what they do. Like I told people when I go to a tattooer, I tell them an idea of what I want. I might reference their previous work.
Yes.
And be like, listen, I like what you did here. I want to do something similar to this, you know, but I want these kind of, this kind of influence, these kind of changes. That's the way, and you see what they come up with. You don't go there with the idea in mind. Like, exactly, like, this is what I want you to do. You know, it's like, it's, you know, you want to give them a little bit of creative freedom because what you want the style of that tattooer to come out in the tattoo.
Yes.
You know, that's what you went to them for. That's why you're a fan of theirs, because you love their work.
You like their shit. If they're doing what you want, then you don't like, you just like your shit. Not only that, but
then you need to go to a different tattooer. If you have to change what this person wants to do that bad or what they think is a good idea, then go somewhere to a different artist.
I had this thing when I tell like I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be here this Friday. I'll be in PA, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm getting tattooed. Like, oh, let me see what you're getting. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen it yet. I don't. And they're like, wait, you're going all the way over there, and you don't even know what it looks like. What if you don't like it? I'm like, I've been watching this guy's work for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like whatever the fuck he gives me.
Exactly.
And I gave him a concept.
Yeah.
And I know, judging by his art, that he's gonna shred it.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. But it's like mind blowing to them. They're almost like concerned for me.
Yo, actually, now that you say, I didn't know what any of these looked like.
I didn't know what any of my tattoos were gonna look like until the second I got there. And the guy who tattooed this arm, he tattoos when you get there. He starts drawing it. So it's not even like when I show up there, I'm still sitting there for another 45 minutes and he's drawing it up.
Yeah.
And I never knew what any of my that's just the name of the game. Like, you know, like it's not like unless you're picking out Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're picking out Flash, which is cool too, because there's actually a couple pieces I want to get.
Oh, I like Flash.
Yeah, so if you tell them what you want, let them do their thing. Like I went to a certain tattooer because he made tattoos like this. Like I get American traditional, Berto gets neo-traditional. So we go to artists that do that. We're not going to go to a photorealistic tattooer and say, hey, give me an American traditional rose. No.
It's not going to happen.
Go to
if he's good at that shit, he ain't going to do it because he's like, oh, I don't do that work and I don't want my name on something that's badly done.
Yeah, it's not my style. It's like it's like anything. You go to like you said, if somebody's good at making a certain kind of food, you're not going to go there. You're not going to go to a Chinese restaurant
and ask for paella.
Yeah, exactly. And ask for fucking creme brulee.
It's not going to happen. You're going to go there and you're like, we don't make that shit.
Boneless spare ribs and a creme brulee. Yeah. Like, nah, it's not going to rock.
Do you guys have crepes?
Yeah, right? Crepe?
Well, there's a grill back there.
Yeah. Now, if you go to a Chinese spot in the hood, you could still get You know,
get Dutch's.
a lot of other shit.
You could get Dutch. Oh, I just spat in your direction. Excuse me.
That's all
You
good,
could
man.
get Dutch's, and I remember back in the day, you used to be able to call and get Chinese food by me, and you could have him stop and get you cigarettes, Dutch's, Arizonas. We used to get Chinese
Yo,
food
though,
with
it is
Arizonas
amazing.
in my
I love
boy's
it.
house. I remember going to my boy's house, and he's the one that put me onto it. He was like, "Yo, we're getting Chinese food. What we getting? Everybody's getting chicken wings and French fries, or rib tips and rice or whatever. We're all getting the same shit." And he's like, "Yo, let me get 4 Arizonas and 2 Dutches." And I looked at him and I said, he'll make stops. And he's like, "What do you want from the bodega?" And I'm like, he was getting Lucy's, he was getting Arizonas,
Oh.
Dutches, gummy bears, whatever you needed to get from the bodega. He stopped there and he got it. And you broke him off when he got there.
Damn, that's what's up, bro.
Yeah, man.
That is
Those are the
super
days,
dope.
bro.
that's
Back in the
super
day,
dope, yo.
we'll never have that again.
No, man. I mean, shit. Pretty soon you won't be able to leave your house. You'll just be
I
locked in a
wonder,
house,
right?
and there'll just be a tube from the street to your front door where people just send food to you, and you never like talk to anybody again.
You never see anybody.
Yeah, man. Everybody's
Unless
just
this
terrified.
vaccine comes through.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? I don't want to keep talking about this specific because it's a it's a freaking like morbid topic. But
Yeah.
with this virus that's going around, shit's gone. Whatever I was gonna say is gone.
Black Friday. It's all month now. Don't you
I lost
think
my goddamn train of thought. It's fucking gone. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Black Friday.
Ah.
Isn't it crazy? First of all, I had this huge theory a bunch of years ago that Black Friday ruined Thanksgiving.
I'm working. Fuck. Go ahead.
It doesn't exist anymore. Now it's the Black Month. The whole
that's
month
true.
is black. It doesn't
That's
exist
true.
First of all, Black Friday ruined Thanksgiving. For me specifically, because my family loves good deals, right? As Latinos, we love a fucking good deal. We can't give it
Yeah.
up, right?
Cannot.
We love it. And
If we don't get a good deal, we feel like we lost money.
yeah, it's FOMO.
If you don't take it, we
Yeah.
lost money. And when really, no. If that TV was 1,000, you got it for 800. I feel like I lost 200 if I don't
100%.
go get
If I
that
didn't
TV.
get it, yeah, I feel
Which-
like I just lost my.
Really, I
doesn't
lost $800.
make- Doesn't make any sense, but that's just the name of the game. Back in the day when I was younger, it used to be a midnight thing, right?
Yes.
Or early. No, it started as an early morning thing. I shouldn't scratch myself. It started as an early morning.
You're
thing.
right. We lived through the evolution of Black Friday.
Yes, when we were children, it was like we're opening at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's be here at 5.
And the malls are open till midnight. So you could just go to the mall just late at night and everybody's
Right?
frantically
That's
shopping.
how it started. Then it was like, no, we're gonna open on midnight of Thanksgiving. On
The
Friday
night
and-
before.
Yeah. So, but you got to have your dinner.
Yeah.
You got to have your dinner. No big deal. Then it was like, we're gonna open at 8 o'clock on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's when I fucking drew the line.
Yeah.
Because what was happening is that everybody was at my mother's house. They were all just eating as fast as they can or getting shit done as fast as they can, and they would get up and they'd be like, "All right, we gotta go shopping." And I'm like, "Wait, you guys are all going shopping?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you're just like me. You don't want to go
Yeah.
shopping."
No.
Hey.
I like to get my shopping done first, and then I like to go to all the malls when everybody else is nuts and I have nothing to get.
And you're just watching
And
them.
we just watch them.
People watch.
We get coffee and shit. We just go to Starbucks in the Roosevelt Mall and just watch people tear
Look
each
at all
other
these
apart.
crazy motherfuckers.
We just sit down like old people at the bench watching.
But I feel like it ruined Thanksgiving. I feel like, at least in my house,
Yeah.
people were just going and getting food people were going and buying stuff. And you know what? I get it. Like, they want the deals. We need the deals. It's not like we could,
or
you know,
we need.
yeah, we quote unquote needed deals. They were
Yeah.
buying gifts. It wasn't like they were doing it selfishly. My mom wasn't going out to get herself a new refrigerator.
Yeah.
She was going
It's
out.
what makes it possible for a lot of people to be able to have a slightly bigger Christmas for their families or what
Yes.
have you. Because, sometimes without the deals, I know in my case, growing up and shit, we couldn't get these things unless we went to
100%.
unless we tried to get these deals. So in that regard, sure.
Yeah.
But
but
it does get a little crazy.
yeah, it's another version of like big corpa, like, doing things that are like
Yeah.
immoral.
I'll tell you what though, I do enjoy the shit out of watching some compilations of people.
Oh, when the stores are opening and there's a huge
Remember
line?
that security guard getting trampled to death?
Didn't
Yo,
someone-
they
yeah, he got
stepped,
killed, right?
Yo, they stepped on this man till he died.
That-
Think about that. Think about how crazy
They just
that is.
kept stepping on
Yo,
him
they stepped on him
until he died.
This is not funny, but the concept.
That shit was in Florida,
That-
right? I bet you that shit was in Florida.
I don't know if it was, but Florida's another country. But if you think about that, it's fucking tragic. But
It
goddamn, those deals were so crazy. People were just stepping on this man.
Yeah,
Nobody rolled an ankle, nothing. People
No.
just stomped this guy out.
until he died.
And then he died like Mufasa out here. That's crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
it must have felt like, you remember Jumanji?
Yes.
When the animals were coming out the house, the
Hell
elephant
fucking
and shit.
yeah.
It must have felt like that.
That was like the first movie with great CGI. Go ahead.
That was a good movie. Before we go
Pretty
anywhere
goddamn
else, we're going to pause this and we're going to interject something. We never told Instagram that we were going live. We're not. We're getting better at this, but sometimes,
Sometimes you swing and you miss.
yeah,
All right.
it's okay.
I'll send out a fucking delayed tweet.
Yeah, no worries.
A couple minutes. I don't feel like doing it now.
But yeah,
Vibing.
Black Friday. But yeah, and I hate that I put a halt to our vibe. But,
Nah,
I wanted to mention it.
It's fine.
Yeah, Black Friday is crazy. I'm glad that I'm kind of glad that this month is all year, dude. I almost bought
You
a
glad that this
fucking-
month is all year?
I'm glad this year is all month.
What?
The Black Friday.
You're
It's
glad
all
that
month.
the day of Black Friday is a month now.
I'm
A
glad.
month.
I'm thankful for the fact that Black Friday is a event that lasts the entire month this year, which we are most likely being scammed into buying things, and the prices inflated throughout the entire year, only to wait for this month where they could deflate them and then charge us, like, I guess what would be the equivalent to a normal price. But I'm glad that I'm going to be able to have a regular Thanksgiving this year where I just eat and I don't have to worry about like my family leaving. My family's predominantly women, which I'm sure your family is
Yeah.
predominantly women as well.
Yeah.
So during
My mom's
Thanksgiving-
one of 11 and she only has 3 brothers.
Yeah. So during the holidays, it's like they're
So
getting
think about
together.
that. Well, you got to remember, we got to do a head count because Cuomo said only 10 people at your house for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's fucking. But it's not law.
Yeah, he said it's not law, but he said it's law on his Twitter.
Yeah, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, but do you see where the line blurs?
but he should be able to say whatever he wants.
He can say whatever he wants, but come to my house, bro.
Here,
Come do a head count, son.
honestly, those fucking they should be publicized as guidelines. They shouldn't be publicized as law because they're not. But it's stupid.
And he didn't get censored for saying that,
No,
which is inaccurate information.
it is inaccurate information.
Technically, they should have
been
flagged
fact
that.
checked.
They should have flagged that post,
Yeah, 100%.
which they did not.
I'm not saying anything about Cuomo right now because he's got a big ballot in January.
Wait, he's on the ticket in January. We're
There's
re-electing
a- there-
Cuomo.
No, there's something going through in January for recreational.
I don't know shit about politics. I don't even know when the governor's election is. I don't know when their terms are over. I don't know. But all
Wait.
I know,
We elect him?
yeah, you.
No,
knew
I know
that.
he gets elected.
All
yes, I also know in January they're going to be voting for, and this isn't for any like
Political seat. It's more of a policy. What is it?
No, they're voting on recreational marijuana in New York State in January, and
It's not recreational yet. No, it's not.
It's
You're right.
it's decriminalized as medical. We have everything else. But the surrounding states are all recreational. The majority of the surrounding states are all recreational. The predictions are that New York goes recreational January and to go into effect in August. And I believe, from an article that I read that was put out by Cuomo's advisor on marijuana, they believe that he's going to be pushing this through. So I'm not going to say anything bad about him until this happens. So he's got about 2 months in my eyes.
But he can't tell me how many people can be in my home.
No. But if we go recreational and it's because of him, he can make some more suggestions to me.
Yeah, but
Doesn't mean I'm going to listen to him. You
He
can make some suggestions.
He can make some more suggestions. To
Yes.
me.
You can say, maybe we wear blue suits this month, or maybe we do this, maybe we do that. And you know what? I don't know how long their fucking term. How long is their term? Because I feel like the other guy,
I think it's 2 years.
I feel like the guy
God
before
damn
him,
it.
the guy
God
before him was there for a while, right? What was Giuliani?
He was the mayor
He was the
of
mayor.
New York City.
Oh, this guy's a fucking
Yeah.
governor. All right.
Yeah,
Not the same.
yeah.
Okay.
Now he's Trump's lawyer,
Who?
Giuliani.
Really?
Yeah, that's the guy that they gave Biden's son's laptop to.
Son of a bitch.
And then he
Son of a
fucking
bitch.
outed it.
You think he's got a Yankee jacket on right now and he's like looking at the fucking
Oh, hell yeah, he
document?
does. Hell yeah, he does. You kidding me, man? That guy's wall's a pinstripe.
Dude, I seen a guy following Cuomo in the street, and like he's got the Secret Service with him, and he's like, Cuomo, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He said you're a fucking
No, it
dirtbag.
wasn't Cuomo. It was Bloomberg.
Oh, that's who it was.
No. I'm lying.
No,
De
who was it?
Blasio.
It was De Blasio.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said, "Hey, how you doing?" The guy said, "Fucking terrible."
Yeah.
You fucking rat.
Yes, that's the
He said,
video.
"You rat motherfucker. Don't ask me how I'm doing. Fuck you."
Yeah,
Follow
so
him.
anybody who says that you can't say whatever the fuck you want, go fuck yourself.
See,
'cause
and
you
this is
can't say
America.
it.
Yeah.
This is America.
So he can
We're
say
talking. If that shit would have happened in fucking China, that video would have never made the
that.
fucking
Oh, that guy would have
circus.
just got dragged off the
Are you
street.
kidding me? They
Yeah,
would
no.
have boiled him.
Yeah.
They would have boiled
Yeah.
him.
And, but you know how they started?
We're talking about China?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How they started that whole regime?
Communism?
They said, wear a mask. Just kidding.
No. Yo.
Just kidding. No, you should wear a mask. For
Yeah,
real.
you should definitely
Serious.
wear a mask.
Serious.
I don't think
And we're
there's
negative. We've been swabbed. That's why we're this close to each other.
100%.
All right.
Yeah, you definitely should wear a fucking mask. Dude, they've been wearing masks before. I was in China. It had to be 10 years ago. No, it was more than 10 years ago.
I forgot you've been to China.
Dude, I've been to like, I'm not even stunting, but I did like two.
Did you bring the fucking Wuhan here, motherfucker?
I brought.
Did you bring the goddamn
I ate the bat.
COVID?
So
You I ate the bat.
yeah, I ate the bat. So I didn't bring
It was
anything
Ozzy
over.
Osbourne, wasn't it?
I didn't bring anything over, but I had antibodies. So I did like 2 truths and a lie the other day, and I had to like count how many countries I've been to, and just countries. So just countries alone, I think I've been to like 17 different countries.
What?
Yeah,
And everybody thought you were full of shit.
yeah. They thought that was my lie.
You were like, I'm a fucking.
and you know what I had to tell them? I was like, it is kind of a lie because I've been to more than that. I just couldn't think of them at the time.
17?
Yeah.
Where the fuck you been? That's a
You
lot
want
to
me to
list.
get it? I could list like probably 10 of them off the top of my head.
All right, go ahead.
All right, England. Give me the hand.
Go ahead, I got you.
All right, UK, Paris, Spain.
Paris, so that's France, Spain.
Oh yeah, excuse me, France.
Yeah, I got
Spain,
you. I know.
the Netherlands,
Mhm.
Germany.
Mhm.
I've been to most of the Caribbean, but let's just say Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. You could even exclude Puerto Rico because
Yeah.
it's United States. Mexico, Ireland,
Canada?
Canada.
That's 10 right
I'm
there.
at 10 right there, right? And then
Mexico?
yeah, I said
Said that.
Mexico, but I've been to Mexico. I've been to like most of the Virgin Islands. That's all. I think that's all the states, right? That's
You've been
all.
to Peru?
I've been to Peru.
That's 11.
Thailand, Singapore,
13.
China.
Mm.
Did I say Ireland?
Yes.
That's
That's
just off
14.
That's off the top of my head.
God damn, you a world traveled motherfucker.
Yeah.
I've been to Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Jersey.
I've been to Jersey too. So when it was funny because we were talking about it, and I was like, that's not really. I've been to more places because I've been to Spain 3 times. So like, although those are just countries, and I've been to different, and in states, I've been to like 40 some odd states.
I've been to a lot of states,
but I
not 40.
drove through a lot of them so it doesn't really count because I've driven to California.
How was that drive?
I was young, so I don't even think that should count. But
No, I mean you were still there.
I
mean,
was there. It was cool. It was really cool. That's why we've always been into like, Latinos, we're not tied to anywhere. We're not really from here. We'll leave. We're
Yeah.
ready to go
Yeah.
at any time. So my parents.
What they got free? What? Where?
Yeah, exactly.
They got deals on TVs. Where?
We traveled here, motherfucker. We're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to see if it gets sunnier over there. Guess what?
Yeah.
We're moving.
This ain't nothing but a stop.
Yeah, exactly. So my parents were like bought like this old RV back in the day, and I remember my dad taking the serpentine belts off when we left it in parking lots, so nobody is fucking
Get the
stealing.
fuck outta here.
Yeah. And we took the RV, old, like, it was old even for the time,
Yeah,
and drove it to California. My parents took me to fucking
That's
Disney
dope.
World
but that's
or
dope.
Land, whichever one is out
How
there.
long did it take you?
Dude, I don't remember.
Yo, that drive has got to be like fucking weak.
This was back in the day when men were men. My dad was a fucking savage.
He didn't even sleep. He drove the whole way
Drove the whole with beers. in
with
his
beers.
hand.
I bet.
Bobby,
Pass me another one,
give me a cold one, dude.
Bobby,
This is when
give me a
men
cold one.
were men.
Yeah, I
you know what
know.
I'm saying? It was
I
it.
know.
They're the kind of man my dad is, and the kind of men that we're gonna be or we become.
Yeah,
We're
it's gonna be
di-
different.
we're
And
different.
our kids are even gonna be different.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. My girl tells me shit about her dad. She's like, yo, he used to like drive around, like we go to the mall. He used to have like a beer on the way and shit like that. Like, it was no big deal. She's like, he got stopped like with the beer and shit like that. And they're just like, all right, you know, just like is the last one? You know, like no more, right?
You got any more road beers in there?
Yeah, it's like that.
No, just got my one.
yeah.
All right, get
All
out
right,
of here.
Good. Get on out of here.
Yeah.
What you got there? Bud heavy, huh?
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It was a different world.
They would
But,
just have you pull over. You could be wasted,
dude,
shit
they
faced.
throw your keys in the trunk and
Bro.
you could walk home.
Yeah, they'd have you just like sleep it off, like pull over and sleep it off. You know, this is when we're children. We're
We were
talking
children
about
at
like
the
they
time,
started
yeah.
to change as you know we got older.
Well,
Now
I think that
they'll lock you up.
Fuck was that?
I don't know. You got a
There's
raccoon out
another
there.
room you guys can't see that. There's a room behind us,
Yeah,
and there's nobody in there.
yeah.
and
There's nobody in there.
something just happened in there.
That sound like gravity just
But-
has been pulling on something for a while.
probably. But we're saving
What?
we're being saved from ourselves because you shouldn't have to tell people you don't drink and drive.
Correct.
You don't drink and drive, not because you're afraid you'll be arrested, but because it's the right thing to do because you're afraid you will hurt somebody else or end their life.
Yes, that's a different issue because now you're talking about inflicting injury
Other people
on other people.
on innocent people.
on other people.
So yeah, I understand why that's different, but yeah, like we're just like we should know that. Like you know if you go out.
People do know that, but what happens is when you're shit faced, before you drink, you know you shouldn't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Then once you're shit faced, I'm not drunk. You know, then it clouds your judgment. You know, I don't have to pull out. You know, and a whole bunch of crazy,
God.
whole bunch of weird shit starts.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Before you know it, shit gets a little out of
Smoke
control.
a cigarette after you're done. It kills the sperm cells.
I was like when I got jumped on a train on the way to the Yankee game.
Oh my God. You want to tell that story?
Oh my god!
It was it on the way to the Yankee game or was it
Yeah.
on the way out?
No, I never made it there.
You never made it.
Never
you had
made it there. We
H&M.
pre-gamed.
You went to H&M, right?
Yes, we pre-gamed so
Tell
hard.
the story.
Yeah, I was with a friend. We were going to a Yankee game. We decided to pregame a bit prior, just because beers are like $2,000 at the Yankee game. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll just drink before we go. Only problem is,
And for people who don't know, we take the we're in New York. We take the train into the city.
Yeah.
we take the train. Anybody who goes, a lot of people who go to the game,
yeah,
you take the train in. It's one
Yeah.
of the better.
you don't want to
experiences.
drive. First of
You
all,
don't
for the
wanna drive.
drinking reason, if you plan
Yeah.
on drinking with your friends. Secondly, traffic's a bitch. You know, it's a pain in the ass.
Parking is expensive. So
Yeah.
you took the train in.
Yeah, so we
Go
took
ahead.
it. So we got on a subway, and I didn't eat anything all day. We hadn't eaten. We just drank a lot.
My wife just added Italy to my count. She
Damn,
just
that's
threw it into-
15.
She just threw it into the chat.
God damn, if anybody's paying
Yeah.
attention, that's 15 countries this man has been to. I haven't done shit in my life.
I just responded
So-
to the chat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Thanks for reminding me on how little I've done. Just kidding. So yeah, long story short, I got overly inebriated, got on there, thought it was a good idea to engage with about 6 gentlemen, myself and a friend of mine.
On a Bronx train.
Yes, needless to say, I just remember a lot of Timberland boots hitting my face. I just the way my friend tells it is I just randomly started just shit talking people, and he's like, bro, I've never seen that, and I'll tell you what, I had no idea that this happened.
Yeah.
This is the one and only time I've ever been blacked out in my life, and it must have just been a shell of who I am, running around some empty casing, running around just causing havoc.
Talking shit.
And he's like, bro, I'm telling you, he said, and this guy was like, I was joking. He's like, you guys were like talking nice. And then the guy said something to you. He's like, and you just like flipped a switch. And I was like, what? And he's like, you just got like annoyed with him and shit. And then he got live. So he said, at that point, he said, we're so outnumbered. He's like, well, everybody was chilling except this one guy was standing up. He's like, and the dude said something. He said, I didn't think it was going to get this far. He's like, and guys started fighting. He's like, you just hit him. He's like, and then 5 guys stood up. He's like, and then next thing you know, they just start jumping us. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, get out of here. Like, no, it came to me in bits. I remember. And mind you, this fight in my mind was very long. This happened during the course of one subway stop. The doors opened, ding, ding. They beat my ass, threw me off the train, came off the train with me, stomped me out on the platform, got back on the train, ding, ding.
They were nice enough to throw your clothes out, though.
And they threw my shit back to me, my clothing that we had gone shopping with.
He went shopping.
Yeah.
He went shopping. They beat him up, threw him out of the train, got back in the train, grabbed his shit, and threw it at him. That's how nice New Yorkers are.
That's how much they wanted me off the fucking train. My buddy's like, yo, the whole train car was cheering them on.
That's how it happened. Dude.
He's like, bro, they were cheering him on. You got us in so much shit on that train.
Everybody wanted you off. I remember going to baseball.
And I never
stadiums.
made it to the Yankee game.
I remember going to baseball games, and I don't know if this is like a baseball thing or a New York thing. The entire crowd chanting asshole. And this will never happen. This doesn't happen now. I know it doesn't. I haven't been to a baseball game in a long time, but it just doesn't happen now because people are too PC. I remember pitchers fucking throwing games unintentionally and the entire crowd chanting asshole,
Yeah.
asshole. And kids, mothers,
Yeah.
preteens.
They're like, louder, Junior.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Asshole.
Yeah.
It was the only time I was allowed to curse as a child, when it was being chanted by the masses in Shea Stadium.
That's right. I remember that. This is a funny story. I mean, I just thought of one story as I was thinking of one. One thing I didn't think that I would ever miss. Now I miss it with these crowds not being allowed to be around each other and stuff.
What's that?
Coming home on the train
Oh,
and hearing
my
a bunch of
God.
drunk people yelling, "Let's go Rangers!
Yes.
Let's go Rangers!" I never thought I would miss that chant in my fucking life.
I
Bro,
never thought I would miss
I miss
the drunk train guys.
Yeah, I miss it. I
Yeah.
never thought I'd miss being the drunk train guy.
I hated the
You know?
fucking train.
Nah, the drunk train it's the
hated-
one train.
You're talking about,
What is it,
so
the
if you
4
guys
a.m.?
don't know, if you're in New York and you're trying to get back on the island, so you're in Manhattan, you're in Times Square, or
Yeah.
you're
out
Penn-
at a bar, wherever you are.
You're in Penn Station. Let's just say you're in Penn Station.
Yeah.
And you're going back onto the island. If you miss that like 2:15 train, you don't get back on the next train's not till like 4 a.m.
Yeah. Yes.
Or 3:45. Let's just say 3:45 to 4 a.m.
Yeah, it's some kind of gap. It's like a 2, 3, 4 hour. It's something. I think it's 3 hours.
on the hour, but then they skip an hour. So then you end up staying there for 2 hours. So you missed that 2:15.
Yeah.
You're in the city till fucking 3:45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
You're not
means
getting
that
home
you're
till
not getting
5
home
a.m.
till 5 a.m.
So
Fuck me. That
Yeah.
5 a.m. train that all the degenerates miss, that 2:15 train
Yeah.
that all the degenerates miss.
it's the last train. So if you don't get on that train, you're fucked.
Yeah, because guess what? That next train you're gonna get on, it's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be
It's-
full of all the creatures that
Oh.
missed the last train, and then all the creatures who think it's an hour ago, and
Yeah.
they're just getting there.
Yeah. And yeah, you're in Penn Station with all these people waiting to get on that
Everybody's
train.
sitting on the fucking floor.
People are eating. That pizza's pretty good.
That pizza is pretty good.
Everybody's eating pizza. It's fucking, it's wild, yo.
Yo, it's so fucking
It's
wild.
so that time, I do miss that time.
And they serve alcohol there too, so people are
Yes.
still drinking. You can get a 32-ounce of beer at Penn Station and drink it on the way home and get shit-faced on the train.
Yes.
Get in your car, fucking go home.
Do you remember when they used to pull the bar out onto the platform?
Hell yeah,
Remember that shit?
bro.
New York City used to have this. I don't know if there's anybody younger that's listening or what have you, because they don't do this anymore.
They don't do that?
But no, they don't do it anymore.
I didn't know
We used
that.
to come home for the 5 o'clock commuter train for the people going home from, like, the business people going home back to if they live on the island or wherever they're going eastbound from
From
the
Manhattan.
city, from Manhattan, from
Yeah. So
from
you
Penn
could be
Station.
going to Queens too. When you say this Penn, you could go to Queens
Yeah.
from Penn.
So anywhere east of Penn
Manhattan.
Station. Yeah, of there.
Or
So,
Penn Station, yeah.
yeah. So for the 5 o'clock commuter train, I think it was like 5:30, something like that. They would have a little bar on the platform.
Like
Like
you wait
multiple
for your
ones.
train. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for your train and there's a bar there with like a big brown thing full of ice.
Yeah.
And they have like beers and shit in it.
Yeah, and they would make you drinks. They would make you cocktails. There was a couple cocktails you could get, and there would be a bartender there. Like there'd be like 3 of these little bars set up on the platform, and there would be a guy there serving drinks for you to grab a drink and get on the train to go home.
Where have we gone as a
Yeah,
society?
now it's like you can't do that shit. And then, but now with COVID, they got a little lax. You could take drinks to go.
Yeah, you can take drinks to go. And you know what's a stupid rule is that you can't drink on the platform, but you could drink in the train.
Yeah, you could drink in the train.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't, but at the same time, allowing people to drink on the train prevents people from drinking and driving.
Yeah, 100%. And
So
not only that, but
it's a
if
lesser
you
of
drink on
two
the
evils.
platform, they don't bust your balls.
Nah, they don't really say shit.
They
You
don't
just
bust your
keep it in
balls.
a keep it in a
Keep
bag.
yourself conduct yourself like a fucking gentleman, and
Yeah.
I believe you'll be treated as such.
Yeah, it's something that just the crowds. I miss it.
Yeah, man.
I
I
miss
miss
it.
that dirty floor, that
Yeah.
dirty checkered floor.
Yeah, man.
I miss that dirty fucking. I
Yeah,
miss the
man.
dirty escalator.
Yeah, man. You miss that filthy fucking escalator,
Oh,
right?
you get
man?
out of fucking Penn Station on a fucking hot summer day, and
Yeah.
it is humid as fuck. The
Yeah.
second you get up that escalator,
Yeah,
you
man.
feel the heat,
Yep.
the heat of just too many
Even
humans.
down there, bro.
It's hot down there.
Yeah, man.
But when you go out and you feel just people everywhere.
Yeah.
I love New York.
Yeah, man. I miss it, man. I miss going in, getting in at Penn Station, going into the bathroom, walking past the guy showering in the sink, go and take a
yeah.
piss 2 stalls over from the guy picking crabs off his freaking balls right by the urinal out in front of
Yeah.
everybody. You know, it's
There's
New
a
York
rabbi
City's
in
wild.
there,
And,
fucking practicing his thing in the mirror.
yeah, there's all kinds of shit going on out there. And I do miss that, man. I don't know if we'll ever get back there, man.
Yeah, you know
It
what?
scares me. This is what
We
you know,
will, but I think that, and it doesn't mean that I'm for this, but I think that some of the things that are being implemented right now are for the greater good, and it's not because this is my opinion of what
Sure.
the opinion is. Right?
health
Of what
wise, it's factual. I mean,
you gotta
know.
keep. People are fucking dumb, man, and they're trying. And I'm not saying it's right, but it's the same reason why we're wearing masks. We're wearing masks because people are incapable of staying home when they don't feel good.
Yeah.
Right? Because people are dumb. They're uneducated. They just
True.
don't know the reality. They just don't know.
Yeah.
Or they just choose to ignore it. Or
Yeah.
they're just ignorant. But you know what? If I wear the mask.
Yeah, I'll wear the mask too. I mean, it's like I said, I know for a fact that this shit is real. I'm not speculating.
Yeah.
Just
And
trust me when I tell you.
it'll be over.
Just trust me when I tell you.
Did you see the vaccine that the one Russian scientist who's married to a Turkish scientist who were both Muslims came up with with a vaccine there that they're trialing. I seen an article about it because the article was obviously titled like, oh, when something about like not labeling them as terrorists because they're coming out with the vaccine, but if they weren't coming out with the vaccine, they'd be labeled as whatever the fucking some negative narrative that they're spinning on it.
Exactly.
But there's already talks of vaccines, so I feel that, not that I'm gonna fucking take the first one that comes out, but I feel positive that there will be a vaccine in the future, and we're gonna put this fucking
Put this thing to
behind
rest.
us. And obviously the United States, we're getting a new president. He might not be better than the last president. He might be better. He might be worse. He might not do anything.
Might be the fucking same. He might fucking forget his fucking name 2 weeks into office and
Yeah.
Kamala Harris becomes the president.
Never know.
Who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? But things are going to change. Hopefully, we progress. We progress as a united state, right? We
Yeah.
progress together and not separated. Hopefully, that's what. If I get anything out of these next 4 years, I don't want tax incentives. I don't want a stimulus check. I don't want Social Security. I don't want regulated healthcare. I would like us to just come together and just find a common ground as people, right? As like the left and the right. They're trying to separate us.
I know.
We're easy to conquer when we're separated. We need to come together.
I know.
I can't stress this enough when I tell people. It's like, if the last guy I'll just say his name, like Donald Trump was in office, like, when people ask me my opinion, I said, well, I don't really want to get into my opinion on it, but I will say one of the things I don't like, right? The one thing that I will express is like, I feel like sometimes he pushes us to dislike each other, or he like omits like this. He just doesn't bring us together. Let me not say that he separates us, right? but he doesn't try to bring people together, right?
Yeah.
It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it.
No, of course you are.
So my hope,
Because I don't disagree.
yeah, and then my hope in this next 4 years is not that, people get anything. One thing I would like to stand united as people.
Me
and
too.
if we all fucking hate that guy, then we hate him together.
Yeah.
Because that's what America's about.
Yeah.
We hate him together
True.
as one.
Yeah. It's like, you could say fuck you to your brother.
Yeah.
And then some dude comes in the house, says fuck you to your brother. You're like, hey, don't say fuck you to my brother.
That's my fucking brother.
Only I say fuck you
Exactly.
to my brother.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's exactly what I want to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way it should be, because in all honesty, that's the reason government was set up the way it is. They work for us.
Yeah.
This is what people forget.
We have the power.
Us. Police work for us. We pay all these people. They can't do shit without our money. They can't do shit without our support and without our votes and without us putting some kind of input on the table.
Yes.
So as long as we remember that, that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Like I almost think like I don't care about the results of the election because it's just not worth caring about it at this point. It's dividing people, blah blah blah. What I'm saying is I don't know if I don't want to talk about politics anymore.
Yeah, we won't
I'm
talk
gonna leave it
about
right there.
politics. I don't even know how I got into that.
How about COVID-19? Did you see Erykah Badu tested negative in the right nostril and positive in the left?
Oh my God, no. Is that true? Was
Yeah.
it a false positive?
It was.
Or was it a false negative?
I don't know.
One of them
This
had
side
to be
and this side came up different.
so fucking stupid, bro.
Elon Musk took 4 tests. 2 came back negative. 2 came back positive. He took them at the same place with the same nurse with the same testing process. Got 4 done. 2 positive, 2 negative.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. Let's not talk about COVID anymore. What else you got? You got anything to talk about? What's up?
Yeah, you ever write something down and then you look at it and you're like, what the fuck did you write?
I got something.
Okay, go ahead.
You see Street Beefs is doing a pay-per-view event?
What?
Yeah, bro.
Really?
Scarface having a pay-per-view event. Yeah, man.
No, that's pretty
For
cool.
anybody that
though.
doesn't know, Street Beefs is a YouTube channel that we've been watching for like at this point years. It started off with like this guy in Virginia, and he would just have these fights in like a grass field.
Yeah.
It would just be, we've known about, they've been backyard fights forever. Kimbo from back in the day, Jorge Masvidal, those fights, and those
he was
were
the most
different.
recent, not most
Yeah.
recent, but he's been
The most organized.
the most organized.
He's
They
like
get
a hood.
refs.
He's a hood Dana White.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
started
it is.
bringing people that didn't like each other.
Yeah, he's like a Dana Brown.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He would bring him, he'd be like, this is Josie from the west side. He's got beef with Leroy from the
Yeah.
north side.
Something about a female. Y'all gonna come here, straighten this out right here, and no beefs. He said, "Fists up, guns down."
Yes, and we'll shake after this.
Yeah.
And people used to go over there and they used to get it shaken, and then that would be what it is. Now there's actual like people who fight that go
Yeah,
on there.
he has belts and shit now.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's nice to hear that he's gonna,
you see the audience outside of the cage, how it's grown.
it's getting bigger and bigger.
It's huge now.
Do you
He's
remember
probably
when they
selling
used to-
tickets.
Remember when he used to fight in that mud pit?
Oh,
and they
yeah.
had like plywood boards.
No, the plywood was after. Before
Oh
that, it
my
was
God.
nothing. It would just be like
It was a backyard.
it would just be like car parts and shit, like in a circle. It was like how you would have like playing wiffle ball back in the day. You'd have like a tire as first base,
Yeah.
and like and like a shoe is second base. There were just items placed in a circle that like you knew if you kicked the car fender, you were too close to the right. You were too close to the edge of the ring. So
It was like
and
the pool table that's always in your boy's basement. That's
Yeah.
like you're fucking on the wall trying to play it.
then he had a company like build a cage and shit and all this shit. And then he had guys that it would only be like 1 fight per person. They would just fight and you'd never see them again because they were really fighting from beef in the street
Yes.
instead of shooting each other, because this started from him trying to stop gun violence in his neighborhood.
Yes.
So what he started was this fighting club so that people would fight there controlled in an environment where they could stop it, break it up. They would have gloves on. It was just boxing with gloves on. And then the beefs would be over because you would see these guys would go at it, man. They'd be exhausted. They'd be fighting. And then at the end,
It'd be
they'd like,
2 minutes of terror.
yeah, man. And at the end of the fight, like somebody would get knocked out or it would go to a decision and then it would just be squashed, and it was like powerful shit, So then more people started doing it. More people started watching it. And now at this point, this guy's got a pay-per-view event,
No, that's super good for him, man.
and it's $6.
That's not bad at all, bro.
No, I'm going to buy it just to support it because I think it's just good that he's doing it. It's so funny though, because it's so unregulated and unsanctioned. As soon as somebody bleeds, it's over because they don't do any,
Yeah.
they don't do any like HIV testing, no hepatitis
That's
testing.
nuts.
As soon as they see blood, they're like, it's over.
That's it. It's over. Speaking, two things I want to talk about.
What's up?
The first thing is gonna be quick. It's speaking of pay-per-views. One of the YouTubers I follow, Cletus McFarlane, he bought a abandoned racetrack, and he does like events where he brings other automotive YouTubers. This weekend he's doing he calls it Le Mullets. You ever heard of Le Mans? It's a 24-hour race. And
Yeah, you told me about it.
He's
I
doing-
think I saw. Am I crazy if I tell you that? Is it Gumball?
yeah,
some shit.
Gumball.
I saw Cars one time. I told you about
you've probably
that.
seen it. Yeah, people see it. Yeah, I've
They
seen
were
Gumball
numbered. It was Maseratis and shit.
Yeah.
It was Maseratis, Ferraris they had, and they were flying, bro.
cars. They just
and
broke,
they were numbered and
They
shit.
broke the Gumball record a couple months ago.
But would that make sense if I saw them on Long Island? That didn't make any
that
sense.
makes perfect sense, bro. They leave from Manhattan from the pier. That's the starting point.
Really?
Dude, they leave from New York.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
So I really saw these motherfuckers. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
But anyway, go ahead. So,
He's
so
doing,
Lamaze,
he's doing a pay-per-view event. It's called Le Mullets 24 or 2.5. It's called Le Mullets 2.5, and they're doing a 2.5 hour race. He's gonna bring in a bunch of YouTubers.
that's so dope.
Same thing.
We should watch it. You want to watch it together?
I would love to watch it, man.
Let's do it.
I watched the last one. He had another one where he did like a 500 laps. It was supposed to be like the Indy 500.
Should we do a live stream during the event?
We could definitely do it, man. It's a really good event. It's getting more and more organized, just like Street Beast. But to go back to the fist up, guns down. I know you
Is
probably
it
don't
gloves
know about
up,
this guy.
gloves up, guns down.
Gloves up, guns
Pardon
down.
me, Scarface, if I'm saying it
Whatever
wrong.
it is. Did you hear about? Do you know that rapper King Von? He was
Yes.
like- did you hear about him getting shot? last week?
No,
Dude, he got killed, bro.
you fucking kidding me,
He got killed. He was tussling with another rapper.
bro? Whoa, that dude got killed. Really?
Yeah, he got shot.
Wow.
And he was fighting somebody, head up. They were scrapping, and one of the other dude's mans came out the car, let off a bunch of shots, and then there was off-duty cops working the club, and then they started shooting, and yeah, they killed him.
Wow.
Nuts.
That's crazy, man. What he
Yo,
was in that street shit like hard.
and that's
you know
one
what
of
I
the
mean?
things. It's
Hard.
funny you said that because I was having this conversation with somebody from my job, and this person like isn't aware of like how. We ever hang out with somebody that you're the same age, but you can clearly tell you grew up in totally different environments.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn,
Since-
rest in peace, that young dude. Go ahead.
yeah. And I was saying one of the things I said, I was like, "Yo, it's terrible." I said, "But that's the name of the game. Like, when you're out there like that, like that's things like that can happen, And
He had to know at some point it was gonna go down that way. I mean, when you
it's
grow
like
up
the
that
expression,
way,
like, live by the gun, die by the gun.
yeah, when you grow up that way and you see this and stuff like that, it's weird. It's almost like it almost becomes like expected, like it's a part of life. Like going to prison is expected, it's like this is part of manhood. You know what I mean? It's strange.
It's like, and that's how I was like, because I wasn't as like, not that I wasn't heartbroken like this person was. I was just like, well,
can't see you didn't see it coming.
yeah,
You know what
but
I mean?
they
It's
just,
like-
but some people don't understand because they just never it's so foreign
guess.
for them. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like the same theory when the guy who barks a lot that's never been smacked in his mouth.
yeah.
It's like that same thing.
It's
It's
a lot
like
of people like that in work environments.
yes,
They're like the bold person
in our work environment
at work. Yeah, they're like
you
a
work at
bold person
Walmart.
at
That
work.
shit's not like that.
And I'm just silently thinking, yeah, if you work at Walmart, they really bang over there.
yeah, you work at Walmart. It's like that where we work.
Somebody will
or
knock you out.
environments that we work in.
Somebody will knock you out at the
Yeah,
time clock
but
working
if
at
you go
Walmart.
to- you work at Walmart. They all getting busy at Walmart. All them motherfuckers.
Oh, okay, but you got to get jumped into Walmart.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I don't talk spicy to none of the Walmart employees. I know how
Hell
to
no,
give it up.
hell no. I'm like, yep, okay, whatever's out here. All right, thanks.
Yeah, 100%. But when you work in some corporate environments,
Yeah.
like you bump into people who like say
Yeah.
like wild things. Like they'll watch like mixed martial arts and they'll say like, "Man, I kicked that guy's ass."
Yeah.
Or they'll just talk wild to you like,
I don't watch the flyweights. I'll fuck those guys up. all right?
"Yeah, get the fuck out of here." Or
Okay.
even when they say certain things, I'm
Joseph
like,
Benavidez will fuck you if he wants. All right, you ain't doing
You're
shit.
crazy. He will
Mighty
take you.
Mouse will fuck you
He will
if he
take
wants
you.
to. If he
Yes.
wants to, you're getting
he
fucked.
will hold
Like,
you down.
Yes.
He won't even tie you up.
Stop it,
And he'll
son.
fuck you to death.
Stop it, son.
Yeah. Everybody, when you turn 18, you should get smacked up a couple
Yeah.
of times. You should get
It's very
smacked up on the
humbling.
way home.
It's
100%.
humbling. It's humbling. People that never got beat up before, you know them. You could pick them out of a crowd.
I remember.
Never been in a fight. Never been in fear that somebody could
Oh,
do
never
something
seen
physical
gangs?
to them.
I remember one day waiting at the bus stop, and I got there too early, and
Ooh,
a car full of
fucking
MS real gangsters came out stacking on me, and and I just didn't say. I was really young. I just didn't say anything.
Anything.
I
Hell
just didn't
no.
say a word.
Hell fucking
And
no.
they were just like, Simon, and they
Yeah.
just left. That's it.
Oh,
They didn't beat me up or anything. They were just out there just to test my gangster. Just like, all right, we're gonna run down on him. He's by himself at the bus. I was a child
Yeah, yeah.
at a bus stop. We're talking about grown men, shaved heads,
Yeah.
came out just banging.
Yeah. Nah, that shit is fucking scary, man. Coming across them dudes, yo, bro, you know what's crazy? You know, growing up and like smoking and shit like that, you always hit like the woods and shit like that. You know what I mean? You go to like the backwoods, go behind
yeah,
like
yeah.
factory buildings and shit like that. You know what's scary, bro? Coming up on a bunch of them dudes in a place like
Chopping
that.
up a body.
No. Not that. God knows what's going on.
That,
but-
we talk about. Okay,
you know,
I went too far.
A couple times. Yeah, you went. Yeah, I didn't quite see what was happening, but like you know, when you stumble across a pack of them dudes back there, man, and you're just like trying to like roll up a little something,
And
or
not just
something
that gang.
with your friends, any gang,
Any,
because
back in the day, yeah.
where we come from, like, you know, we didn't grow up in like the project buildings and shit like that. So the scary places where the goons hang out
Are different by
it's,
us.
It's different. They're around. It's just it's a different place. They're not in the project lobby. They're behind like the furniture factory store.
Yes.
You know, they're behind the
they're holding down the bodega.
yeah, they're like behind the laundromat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're in, you know, they're in different places, but god damn it, when you stumble upon a group of these dudes, yo,
Especially when you're young.
fucking
and you don't
heart
wanna
sink to
fucking-
your asshole, bro.
I remember
When you're a kid, bro, oh my god.
I remember
man.
going to a middle school soccer game, and we're on the outskirts. And if you were on the outskirts, like you was like, you know, you was trying to hang out with the cool kids and shit like that. So we're on the outskirts, we're just chilling. We're at a middle school. I was 11 years old, 12 years old. I remember a car full of goons came up, skirt, parked, and was like, yo, I'm trying to get a demo. I need $10. Like, I gotta come up with it. And it was like just a group of us, and they're just like everybody got to give up all their money because I'm looking to buy some weed and I need $10. So between all of you guys, I need $10, or I'm just gonna take all of your shit.
Damn, he broke y'all off a pretty good deal.
At the time, and I had no money on me.
He broke y'all off a pretty
I had
good deal.
no money
You
on
looked
me.
at your boys, you was like, yo, ante up.
Yo,
motherfucker.
the
Like, what
first thing that
fuck?
came to my head, I was like, I hope to Christies, because I don't want to walk home. Because you know you're gonna walk home either almost ass naked or shoeless. You're not leaving there with everything you came with.
Yeah.
You didn't come up with that money.
Yeah.
And the money came up with within our group. It wasn't even just one person's group; it was like a group of kids. But these are we're in middle school and grown at the time. Grown men. They were probably like, you know,
Nah,
in
they're
their
like
20s.
mid-20s.
Yeah,
20, 30
mid-20s.
years old. These are like grown ass fucking
Pulling
men.
up.
That's scary as fuck, man, when you're a kid, bro.
Yeah,
I remember one time we were walking into the deli where I grew up. So we're walking into the deli, and it's me and my friend and shit, and we had like our skateboards and shit, you know? And I remember we're going into the deli, and like we were so young. We were like, I think we were like 10 years old, 10, 11 years old, something like that. So we're walking into the deli just to go get like some Chico sticks and some chips, you know? So we like go into the deli, we come out, and there's these goons outside, two of them, and they're like, and one of them's like, yo, come over here and shit. So we're too close to resist because we're
Yeah.
like close enough to be like grabbed up. So we're like, come over, like, yeah, what's up? He's like, yo, let me get a dollar, yo. Yeah, I know y'all got some money and shit. And we're like, we don't have any money. Like, we were kids. We were like, we just spent our money. We had like 75 cents and we bought a 50-cent soda and a bag of 25-cent chips. That's pretty much, I paid 25 cents for air and a couple crumbs, you know? So, and my friend goes to him. This is how young we were. My friend goes, I don't have any money, but I have chocolate. He's like, pulls out the candy he bought. Yo, the fucking dude goes, candy, motherfucker. This motherfucker think I'm sweet. Candy, motherfucker. This motherfucker said he got candy. His man starts hyping him up. Oh, y'all got candy. Yo, bro, they were about to fuck us up because my friend offered him candy because we didn't have any money.
money.
We didn't
Me
have any
and
money.
Juan had a fucking strap pulled
Yeah.
on us on Halloween for
Oh,
our candy.
bro.
Talking about candy.
That's so fucking terrible.
Halloween.
Halloween, bro.
We're children.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That shit's scary, man. Shit's
So
scary.
stupid.
But this is why we work so hard. And this
Yeah.
is why we will not raise our kids where that will happen.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? But
It's so
that's what
fucking-
motivates you. You see what I'm saying?
Getting smacked,
It's
robbed.
it's scary as fuck, and nobody should go through that shit growing up.
Yeah.
It's a fact. You should not. You know what I mean? But again, this is what makes you want to do better and makes you want to leave. This is why when people are like, oh, you know, we can't survive around here. You're not, we can't, you know, we can't live, we can't afford like to live anywhere else but here. This is why you work hard so that you can afford to move away from here. You know what I mean? It's like, you want to work hard to try to get out. You know, it's like, that's what makes me feel terrible for people that can't, man. These kids and shit growing up like that, you know?
Yeah, because they're repeating in a similar space. And it's not, I always look at it now and I say, you guys don't have it as rough as we did.
Yeah. And I think to myself, I'm like, how do we make it out of there without getting caught up in all the crazy shit? And I'm like, I don't know if it was parenting. I don't know what it was. Sometimes it's just fucking luck, yo.
Yeah.
Just luck,
a lot
man.
of times
you just happen to make friends with a decent kid when you were growing up and you guys became friends and you guys didn't get in that shit.
You didn't get as deep into it because you're always in it.
Yeah, and your friends, you don't want to, but you go to school with these people. You go to, you play sports with these people.
You're on the same bus as these people.
Yeah, you play sports with these people. Like, you know, I played sports in high school. Like, the majority of, well, not the majority, but a small fraction of people that we played with were involved in that kind of shit. Yeah. You know, but didn't mean they couldn't play to ball their ass off playing basketball. Like, that's what it was.
You're in class. I remember getting ran down in high school, on.
Yeah.
And the person was like, oh, yo, Berto, he's in my art class.
Yeah, bro.
And shit, because I went to an art class.
Bro, that's crazy. I got a story.
I went to an art class. My school was divided into 2 schools.
Yeah.
If you lived on this side of town or on that side of town, you went to one school. If you lived on the other side of town, if you lived on northeast, then you went to this school. If you went to southwest, other school. It was vice versa, but it doesn't matter. I went to the other school for art because I guess there wasn't enough art classes in my side of school. It was a huge building and the 2 schools were strapped to each other. Dude I got ran down on he was a north sider. He went to north, so he went to the other school, but I was in art class with him. I remember when he got out of prison and came to school, he was showing me Polaroids of him in the bathroom of the jail with just a bunch of goons. Yeah. This is when you used to be able to wear red shirts or blue shirts in jail. Now in the county, you can't wear any colors. And there were just a bunch of goons in the bathroom. He was showing me all these jail pictures, and I'm like, at the time, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But I became friends with him because he was just cool. We sat at the same art. In art, you sit like in a lab, like sit with people.
Yeah, for sure.
So we just became cool and shit. And when
that should have helped you one day. That should have helped you one day.
I did, yeah.
It's weird. It's almost like
lucky.
You have to keep these neutral connections, like, because it's just it's crazy, bro. It's funny you said how you got. One time I was walking with a group of my friends and stuff. And growing up, I played sports and stuff. So I had different groups of friends. I had different people. I had friends I played. I also I played an instrument, so I also had friends that were in band. I played sports. Like, so I did different stuff. Like, I made music. Like, I was in freestyle ciphers, stuff like that. So we had I had different groups of friends. So one of these groups of friends, I was telling me, we were just walking around and stuff. We get run down on by some gang members. Again, they come running up on us, like, for no reason, of course, just minding our business, and they just wanted to flex whatever it is. One of them pulls a razor out.
Ooh.
He pulls a razor out, and for no reason, he's like, yo, he like drags his foot across the ground. He's like, see this line right here? Any of you guys step across this line, y'all getting cut and shit. And I'm like, so I'm not just gonna step across that line. Why would I step across that line? I'm a kid. Like, we're just like walking. And again, we were kids. At this point, I was in middle school. So I was like, what are you in middle school? 14, 13? I was in 8th grade.
Okay, so in 8th grade, you're 13.
I was 13. So I'm 13 years old.
Unless you grew up where we grew up, where people are 16.
Yeah. So that guy that went to prison and then showed Berto those Polaroids, Berto was in 8th grade.
I'm not joking. I was in 9th grade. He was probably like 20 years old.
Yeah, still in high school, right?
He was a grown man.
Still in high school, right?
I remember him telling teachers to like suck his dick and shit. Like, he was like an adult.
Yeah. Like, I'm not listening to you guys.
Yeah.
So the dude says, you step across this, you getting cut and shit like that. And I'm like, damn, I'm like, but we were going that way. I'm like, all right, so I guess we ain't going that way anymore. So I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, this shit is fucking wild. And they just like kept on getting liver and feeding off each other and shit. And then one of the dudes looks at me and he goes, oh, no. He's like, yo, let him rock. And I'm like, what? I look at him and I'm like, oh, shit, I know this guy. And he's like, yo, let him rock. He's cool, yo. He's cool. Leave him alone. Bro, I played basketball. It was a basketball tryout that I was at, which I had already made the team, but we're just running through plays and coach was trying out like some other kids because we still needed a couple people on the team. So we're running tryouts, and this was a travel team. So we're running tryouts and shit, and like technically the team wasn't picked yet, but he already knew who he was picking. Like he already,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
exactly
You
what
already
you're
know.
talking
So I
about,
already know him on a team and shit. So we're running through these plays, and there was this dude there that could ball. He was athletic as fuck, but he never played organized basketball. So he was lost running the plays, and he wanted to make the team and shit. So I was just like dragging him through the plays, like, no, you got to go over here. Like my coach is using terms like when you play basketball and shit, when he says like extend
Run the two.
yeah, exactly.
The fuck does
Like
that
stay
mean?
home. Like nobody knows what that means. He's like extend the free throw line. Like nobody knows what that means. Rotate.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Like
Is this
reverse-
volleyball?
Reverse the ball and shit like that. Like these are all terms. Like reverse the ball is like when you're passing around the perimeter, like, and you want to reverse the ball, pass it the other way.
Oh, okay.
You know, like if you're trying to like free up, because people can't move as fast as the ball, so you want to pass the ball, you know, a few times, and once you pass it a few times, you can outrun the player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's running back and forth trying to play.
That's how you get
defense.
that open three.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know that one.
I thought
extra
y'all were
pass.
playing Uno.
Skip, reverse. Or doing that dance, reverse, that wedding dance, whatever. So the dude was like he didn't know what he was doing, so I like grabbed his shirt and I was like pulling him through the play. My coach is like, set the screen, like, so I would set the screen and he was just standing there. So I was telling him like, go around me, and he would like go around me, like, and we're running, and like I like pulled him through the whole practice.
Did he
and
make the
shit.
team?
Yeah, he ended up making the team and shit. And then he came to me and he was like, yo, good looks, man. I appreciate it. So like we kicked it for a minute. He was one of them dudes in that fucking in that group. And him looking at me, he was like, nah, he's cool, yo. Like, let him rock and
Damn.
shit like that. And they just fucking like let us go, bro. What the fuck? When I verbalize these things and we talk about this out loud, I'm like,
It's crazy when you think about it.
I'm like, Jesus
It's a
Christ, I'm
different
fucking
world.
moving my fucking, when I have kids, yo, we fucking out of here, son.
I'm definitely not going to put them in an environment where
outta
like
here,
things
bro.
like that are fucking glorified, because that's the thing. It was just like, it was cool to
Yeah.
do things like that.
I mean, the cool kids in school, the kids that came to school with no backpack.
yeah, nothing.
They came with no backpack. They didn't come with nothing.
Nothing.
They would come, step off the bus and fight,
Yeah.
right? They would come to school to fight.
My
You know, it's like,
school had so
come to
many
school to fight.
issues that it had a whole night school
yeah,
where
a behavioral
the-
program.
Yeah, and so get this. So I ended up going to like this other program in my school because I wanted to learn IT, and they had this BOCES program where you could go, you could learn how to be a barber. They knew in my school
Yeah, it was
that not all of
cosmetology.
us were gonna make it.
Yeah, there was an LPM program,
So you could be an LPN, you could be a barber, you could be a auto body.
auto body. Yep, we had
all
that too.
shit.
Yeah.
When I started, they started to introduce IT, and you could go and get your Cisco certification. We didn't belong on the same bus as some of these guys who were going to the Barber Institute. All right, it wasn't
Yeah.
fair that they put some, but I was familiar with it because because where my house was and where I grew up, I was like, all right, I know when I'm in a sticky situation,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
survive here,
Exactly.
right? I went for
That
IT.
was like my post the other night when I was running. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. I know how to
instinct
survive.
that you pick up.
Yeah, I picked up things. I know how to survive in
Yeah.
these environments. I'm like a fucking chameleon. You could throw
Yeah.
me in the sewers, the ghetto. I'm gonna be all right. You know, you could put
We'll
me in
figure
the
it
rich
out.
places. I'm gonna be okay.
yeah.
So I ended up having to take a night class.
Okay.
You go to night school. How you sign up is you wait on this enormous line. First time I went, I watched somebody get cut online.
Online, waiting
Watched
for
somebody
school.
get cut because a girl was running her mouth to somebody. Then her man pulls up, starts fighting with this dude, starts cutting him, rips his shirt. The dude's cut his shirt. He rips off his shirt even more, and he starts like waving it at the dude, so he can't like
Yeah, you
get
can't.
a good clean stab at him.
Yeah.
That's when I learned you getting cut, take your shirt off, and
That's
make
jail
it,
defense.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
I watched somebody get cut. Right,
I would turn around and run away.
I needed to graduate on time, so I had to take a
No,
night
not
school
you.
class.
If
Oh.
I'm the guy being chased, I'll just try to run.
No, there was no. And when the cops came,
Yeah, I guess
nobody
there's
said
no-
nothing.
Yeah, I guess there's no fucking. What am I talking about?
Nobody said nothing. That's one thing I'm happy I did learn. I'll keep my mouth shut forever.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
It's
you
not
know,
your business.
We're built differently.
It's not your business, man.
I keep my mouth shut,
Yeah.
and for everything, I just
Yeah.
learned that rule.
yeah.
Keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, sure. Got nothing to do with you, man.
Yeah.
It's like-
So I go to night school. I'm in night school. I'm taking a U.S. history class with a teacher that don't want to teach, and a gang of classmates
that don't want to be there.
that are obligated to be there by the law.
Yeah.
It was the wildest time. I loved it. It was so wild.
You felt like you was in
It was-
like a movie and shit.
I felt
man.
like
It
I was in
wild.
that. I was in
like
Juice.
entertainment.
I was in was Tupac in school in Juice? Was Juice
Yeah, they were in high school. Yeah,
yes,
in high
that's what it
school.
felt like. I felt like I
Yeah.
was in Juice.
Yeah, man.
It was so crazy. And night school was it was something else. Not only was it, and it was also if you aged out, because when you're 21, you couldn't go to high school anymore. So there was like people who were like 25, People, there were grown men there.
Holy shit.
There was a whole subsection where they only taught in Spanish. It was wild. And I love night school. But you know what? Those experiences and just like your experiences, they made us the people who we are today.
Yeah, I'm
And
telling
that's
you, man,
and we also know when to say things and when to not say things.
yeah. It's you pick up, you end up picking up like some instincts and stuff like that. Like I can pretty much always kind of catch a vibe when a situation is going to turn up.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in somewhere, it could be a bar. Like I remember I was with my girl. We went out to this. We were at this bar one time, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just watching these guys." She's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You want another drink?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "But just like stay to my right." I was like, "Just stay over here." And she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "The music's good." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Just wait a second." I was like, "These dudes are about to fight." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "These guys are going to fight." I said, "This guy right here is looking for a fight." I was like, "That's what it is." She's like, "All right, I just got to go to the bathroom." I was like, "You're not going to the bathroom like without me. Like I'm coming with you and shit." And she's like, "Okay." Like, so I go with her. She goes in the bathroom. I go in the bathroom, take a piss. And as I'm in the bathroom, the dude I was talking about walks in the bathroom. And he's looking around and shit, looking around. And I see it in his eyes. I'm like, this dude is looking for somebody. I'm like, he's looking for somebody. So like he walks out. I walk out after him. Here's my girl. I grab her and I'm like, this guy right now is about to go off on somebody. Yes, I'm telling you right now. So I pull her to the side of me and she's like, what the hell's going on? All of a sudden, boom, scrap just breaks out right there. They just start scrapping all over the floor. And she's like, what the fuck? I'm like, go over there. So I like push her away. We were at a safe distance from the fight and shit like that. She's like, what the fuck? She's like, how did you even know? I'm like, yeah, I just knew these guys were going to fight. I just felt this dude's fucking energy. I felt it. I saw it in his face. And then when I took a piss and he walked past me and I saw his eyes and the way he was looking, I was like, oh, this guy's looking for somebody. He's looking specifically for one motherfucker to punch in the face.
And he probably looked through you because when people see when you're not that person, they just look through you. They don't even see you.
Yeah.
They're just scanning the room.
Yep. And every now and then a motherfucker will lock on you and be like, oh, no, you're not him.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a fucking
like I Am Legend.
Like
the Terminator. Yeah.
And then like next person, like I knew it fucking immediately, man. We've been at sports events. We've been at concerts. I'm like, yo, these people are going to scrap. And then they start scrapping, you know?
I feel like this week has been the time, like if you were a celebrity and you wanted to like get caught like with your dick out in the street, like this is the week to do it because the media was so concentrated on like the political events.
Oh, you mean like being able to get away with it?
Yeah,
doing some crazy shit.
You want to pull your dick out on somebody and like not have nobody know about it. If you're a celebrity, right now you can jerk off in the corner of the room in front of somebody and they will not cancel you because
please with masks on and all that shit now. I was like, if I'm a celebrity, I'd be freaking farting in the grocery store and shit, being like, haha, I haven't been able to do this shit in fucking like 20 years.
They couldn't even go to the grocery stores for some of these people.
Yeah, true. I'd be putting a mask on and I would be trying to live my life normal. If I was a celebrity and I was super famous like that, that's absolutely what I would be doing. I mean, sunglasses, mask on, grocery store. Like for real, son. You know?
Now's their time to freaks come out at night. Now the celebs could come out during the day.
That's it with the masks, bro.
We are approaching our 2-hour mark, I believe.
Nice. Man. We are, bro.
Yeah, we are 100%.
Nice.
Damn, I'm so good at determining
the
are 2-hour mark.
You definitely are.
I don't want to fucking, I'm not trying to myself, but
but you know.
Yeah. Kind of good at this.
So let's get a pick and then we'll wrap.
Oh man.
Paul Felder or Rafael dos Anjos? What do you got?
What are they fighting at?
They're fighting at lightweight, 155.
Paul Felder looked good his last fight.
He did look good. Yeah, he did look good, but that was a motherfucking fight.
It was a really
good fight. Who the fuck
fight.
did he fight? Edson Barbosa?
Based
or
on
somebody
that
after
fight.
That? Who did he fight? His last fight? Edson Barbosa?
No, it wasn't Edson Barbosa.
It was after
now
Edson
we have
Barbosa.
to look
You
this
can
up.
look it up?
Yeah. Based on that fight, Dan
Hooker.
There you go. Exactly who it was.
Dan Hooker. They beat the shit out of each other.
Is he the Irish Dragon? That's what he goes. So they call him, or what kind?
That's Paul Felder. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Felder's the Irish Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Paul Felder to win.
I want him to win too. This is such a fucking good story.
That's why I want him to win.
Yeah, such a good story. If he comes in and he wins,
mustache that Rafael has.
Every time I think Rafael dos Anjos, I think of when Conor and him was supposed to fight. He was like, "You're not even Brazilian. He said your sons' names are Ned and Ted or
So
something.
he said when they had to book him a hotel.
He said, we had to get you a hotel in Brazil. Your own people don't even respect you. I was like, oh my God. He said, tell him your son's name is Ted. He told him, you don't even respect your own country.
Was it him or Jose that he was calling him a pussy in Portuguese?
Jose.
It was Jose.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
And they
that was
always
crazy.
seem a little impressed when he starts
Yeah.
speaking Portuguese.
Yeah.
When he starts speaking Portuguese, they're always like, oh, they smirk like,
Yeah.
oh, he speaks our language.
Yeah, because he's a legit martial artist. So
Dude, how does fucking Henry Cejudo speak Portuguese? He
Does he?
speaks like fluent Portuguese. Yeah.
really, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't. Yo, that
Super
motherfucker's
impressed.
So capable, bro. When you're able to do the shit that he's done, I don't put anything past that guy. If he came out and started speaking Mandarin, I'd be like,
Is
makes
he
sense.
gonna fight?
Henry Cejudo?
No. Connor.
Yeah, he's fighting Dustin Poirier.
They're signed
January
up to,
23rd.
They're gonna fight. Definitely.
You're
Good.
gonna fight, man.
We'll wrap it up.
Who you
I'm
got?
gonna say I want Paul Felder to win. I'm gonna say Paul Felder decision.
Paul Felder decision. I'm gonna say,
And that's the best story.
yeah,
that's
it's
the best story. And then no more fights. That's it.
What, you want him to retire?
Don't, because I thought he wasn't gonna fight again after his last fight.
Oh no! If he wins this fight, he's gonna try to go on a title run.
Oh, come on. I think I think
He can't. Come on, bro.
dude, that weight class.
Maybe, all right. Maybe if that would be a hell of a story. If he imagine he finishes Rafael and then he retires. He wouldn't. I'm telling you, it's hard. You can't. If you finish him or you
Yeah.
win this fight, how you gonna quit? Not quit. How you gonna retire?
It's not about quitting.
bro,
it's
it's,
just about
You're not gonna. You're gonna feel unstoppable.
but you have
after
to
that.
understand that some of these, I guess it depends what weight class you're in at what time period.
Lightweight is a motherfucker right now.
Because lightweight,
I'd be cutting the fucking flyweight.
to
fuck
get
that.
away from those dudes.
I can't. But of
and
course,
even when you go
those
up,
are big
it's, not,
guys.
it's just as it starts to get just as dangerous too.
it's all
Now-
dangerous.
Yeah, so
So yeah, you got Rafael. You said Paul
I want
Felder.
Paul Felder to win, and I think if he wins, he's going to win a decision. I don't see him knocking him out.
Unanimous or split?
I think it's going to.
Can you
I'll say split decision, Paul Felder, and I will say that it's going to depend on how his cardio is throughout this fight. The guy took the fight late notice. He shred a ton of fucking weight, 14 pounds in 2 days. It's going to affect him. If he makes it to the end, then he wins a decision, and I just hope he doesn't get stopped.
He's the most active. I think it's been a while since Rafael fought, but I'm gonna have to say that
Rafael's been preparing to fight though.
yeah, he's been preparing to fight. He's had a full camp. I would say I'm going. My heart wants Paul Felder to win,
That's how I feel. Yeah.
but if we're picking to be right,
If I'm putting money on it, I don't know if I'm picking Paul Felder, but I'm going to say it for the sake of, the fabulous feeling that you had last week when you guessed that, what was the fight you called?
when I put it down, Glover, rear naked choke,
Yeah.
or Grover choke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you called it and it was right and it must have felt good. That's how good I'm going to feel if Paul Felder wins a split decision tonight.
All right, I'm saying, and it's still 5 rounds.
Oh,
It's a main event.
fuck.
It's a 5-round main event.
So he might get stopped.
I'm going Rafael dos Anjos submission. I think Rafael is going to
It's going to depend on the gas tank.
he's going to push a
Am I
pace
out of
on
frame
him.
when I lean back like that.
I don't know. I have no reference.
It's going to depend on Felder's gas tank.
But he also is always in shape. I'm gonna say Rafael dos Anjos submission. I'm gonna say 4th round. Let me see, 4th or 3rd. I'm between the 3rd and the 4th. I say 4th round, Rafael dos Anjos submission, choke. I think he's gonna find his way to his back. I think he's gonna pressure him, and I think he's gonna find his way to his back and get the choke.
Just to touch on your on what you said about Felder both being in shape, you're right. He always is in shape. It's a different shape to be in to fight for a 5-round fight. Nobody stays in 5-round fight shape all the time.
No.
That's something that you're in for a window of time because you've just put yourself through something to prepare yourself for these 5 rounds, and that's not that you can't maintain that. You jump off of it, and you then you continue training, and you could probably always fight 3 rounds, but for 5 rounds, you need that big.
You
series.
need 5
5 round
rounds.
camp.
You
that
need
camp.
consistent rounds of 5 rounds of sparring.
Exactly.
That's what you need to be going.
Yeah.
Damn near all out 5
And
rounds.
you know what? Maybe Paul Felder, after his last fight, maybe he has been training. Because some of these guys, they say, oh, he took a last minute fight, but they really are training.
Yeah.
They're going hard. So not to drag it out, I'm saying Paul Felder wins a split decision. I'm saying that with my heart. You're saying
I'm gonna try to pick a little more because I'm going more so for being accurate. If I want to go with
and
my
your
heart, I say
decision is
Paul
safer than my.
Yeah.
Your decision is without a doubt safer than my decision. It makes more sense than my decision. But to win big, you got to play big, and I'm gonna say Paul Felder sneaks out a decision. Can you imagine he knocks him out?
He knocks out Dos Anjos. I mean, it's possible Dos Anjos been knocked out.
Imagine he stops him.
Jeremy Stevens put
Imagine
him
he stops him in the
in the
third
orbit.
round. I'm gonna put that into the universe. Imagine he stops him in the third round. Imagine Paul Felder stops
What a story.
him in the third round.
What a
It'd be
story.
good fight. All right,
Let's wrap.
that's it. Episode 4.
Episode 6, bro.
Oh fuck! What did I say?
You took us
Episode
back in
6.
time. Episode
That's
6.
sad.
Episode
That's
6,
sad.
man. It's wrapped.
Oh, my tattoo hurts.
Oh, my tattoo hurts.
Oh, I didn't save the audio.